Hello, good morning, team. My name is Hema. I'm from L&D team. Let's wait for 5 minutes so that other participants can join the session. After 5 minutes, we can start the session. Thank you.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Soumya.
Hello everyone. Shall we start, Anjali?
Yeah, Imran, we can start.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Good morning, all.
I'll start recording.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So, any doubts from yesterday's session? Like, have you tried with any other connector, or any doubt from like whatever we have covered so far? Uh, you can ask me in chat. Okay. Then we start. Okay, so before starting, I just wanted to know like how many of you have AWS free account or already created or used. Just type S if you have account with you right now, like free account. Okay, just type S if you have the account. Okay, then S. Okay. What about others? Only one already used. Okay. Rajaram already used. Just confirm whether you have the account or not. Okay. So if I want to connect with SQL Server, so can I just wanted to know like how many participants have a free trial. If not, do you people have credit cards so that we can because like if we are registering with AWS, we need to add the credit card credentials. It will not be charged much. Okay. Much in the sense it will not charge anything because we'll be under free trial. I just wanted to know like if we create a free account in AWS. Okay. Do you people have credit card to register it? Type yes or no quickly so that we can move ahead and decide like whatever it is. Only two people have responded. No. Okay. Shailendra no. Shafi Rafiq no. Okay. Fine. Okay. Three no's. I got it. Anyways, let's see. Okay. Okay, we have mixed. Okay, some people have the account and some people no. Anyways, I'll be showing it because the SQL server. So as I told yesterday, right? So the two main connectors will be focusing in this training is SQL Server and Snowflake. Anyway, Snowflake we have connected, right? And the SQL Server is left, and anyways, we'll do it. Okay. The people who have they can do it, and I'll be showing all the steps how to connect with the SQL Server. And the people who don't have, you can make a note, and if anything you can just try it later. Okay, after while creating the account or watching the recording once again. Okay, anyways, we'll start. Okay. So today we'll start with some theory aspects again. Okay, then we'll go for the hands-on. Okay. So theory in the sense, so first we'll see the what deployment options, right? So yesterday we have created an account, right? And Fivetran offers three deployment options. So basically, how I can use the Fivetran. Okay. So here it has multiple deployment options. So based on the architecture and data handling requirements. Okay. So based on your requirements. Okay. So they have the three different deployment options. So this three deployment option, just an overview. On the third day, we'll understand like in depth, okay, regarding the private deployment. Okay, first let's understand what are the three different deployment options we have. Okay, so first is a cloud deployment. Okay, so whatever we have just registered yesterday, right? It's a cloud deployment. Here, the Python is fully managed in cloud for automated, scalable, and reliable data movement from SaaS applications, right? Either could be files and databases to the cloud destinations. So here, so while connecting with any connectors or moving the data, if yesterday we have seen, right? Either I'll be choosing what a region and data center, right? So and it is completely hosted by the Python itself, right? So it's basically help us to move the data from any SaaS applications. Okay, you can say like Python is a SaaS, right? It's software as a service. Okay, so here we have a customer network, right? So we have a customer data warehouse network, and Fivetran network is a managed service. Okay, so where it is deployed in cloud. Okay, they're using Google Cloud for the deployment. Fine. So this is one type of deployment option we have, that is a cloud deployment. Okay, and the next we have a private deployment. So in the private deployment, okay, so this is for the companies, okay, who have the confidential and high sensitive data base data, right? So sensitive database data, so they can download the Fivetran and deploy it on the on premises or in virtual private cloud. Okay, so this is not available directly, like in case, like if I want to have the private deployment, so I can't go to my the website and just download it in my virtual network. Okay, it does not happen. So for that, if I want this option, so basically I need to get into this I need to reach out the sales at fivetrend.com, so that they'll be helping you to download the Fivetran in your virtual private cloud. Okay, so of course this is not under free trade. Okay, so if this is, I'm just wanted to show you what are the deployment options we have, because yesterday even we got one question, right? So whether it's on it's hybrid mode or with only it's cloud based, right? So this is, even we have a private deployment, so where the Fivetran can be downloaded and deployed on premises also. Fine. So this is one of the deployment options we have, and if we want to opt this, so we need to reach out to the sales at fivetran.com. Okay, so next we have a hybrid deployment. So hybrid deployment is like it's for the more complex architecture. Okay, so in the diagram you can clearly see, right? So we have a high volume APIs. So if I have a huge amount of data, right, and I want to deploy it in my virtual private cloud, and even I need to have some of the services on the cloud which is managed by the Fivetran, then I can go with the hybrid mode, right? So I can install this HVAs in our on premises, okay, which help us to fetch the data. We have like APIs which is fetching the data at a very high speed, right? Basically the high volume data, right? So this is what the customer network we have, right? So we will be deploying it HVA clients in the virtual cloud, right? And we can fetch the data using the Fivetran network. This is a cloud managed service, right? And we have again a customer data warehouse where the data is being posted. So these are the three deployment options, right? It's very simple. So first we have a cloud deployment. Either we can go for private deployment or hybrid deployment. And whatever we have seen right now, it's working. It's basically managed service, right? So we have not installed any software in our system. Directly we have just registered it and start moving our data from source to destination. Okay, this is a very simple process. And if you need a private deployment or hybrid deployment, we need to connect with what? Sales at fivetran.com. Okay, these are the three deployment options we have. On third day, okay, we'll understand like about more about this private deployment. What is this agent, how to install it, and what are necessary steps, and this will discuss in detail on third day. Fine. So these are the three deployment options we have. Any doubts so far? Any deployment options? No? Okay. 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 So yesterday we have created our Snowflake account, right? So this is what the destination is. I'll just give a brief overview, because still we have not yet discussed some of its tabs, right? So right now we have discussed only two tabs. Okay, so one is connectors. Okay, so what is this connectors? It's a source or destination. Okay, please don't get confused. Yesterday also, like many people were trying to add the Snowflake from the connector. You can add the connector here also from the Snowflake, but this will be a source connector. Okay, so make sure like which tab you have clicked. Okay, so if you are in connectors, it means that you are adding a sources, right? You are in adding a sources, and yesterday we have added the Google Drive, right? And its the status is active and lasting about 40 minutes. Okay, because once I click onto this, we have scheduled for every 6 hours. Okay, so we'll see that all these tabs later on. And then we have one more tab. Okay, so this is what, so if you click on the connector, this is what the information will be getting it. Okay, and if you go to this destination, this is what the destination tab. If you want to add the new destination, you'll be adding from here, right? Adding the new connectors from this section. Okay, adding the destination from this particular section. Okay, so if you click on destination, this is what the different UI will be getting it. Okay, so all about the destination settings, its overview, connection details. Okay, and who is the user for this particular destination, because later on even we'll see like we have a role based what access control for the website or for the Python sites also, right? So like we have like database destination administrator, analyst, and reviewer. Okay, we'll come to this later. Fine. So right now we have discussed only two things. One is connectors and one is destination, and we have connected our destination, that is Snowflake, from the Fivetran. We have one more option. Okay, so if you are in Snowflake, okay, so we have something like partner connects. Okay, so if you already worked in Snowflake, and you would have known this partner connect, right? So if I go to the admin section, okay, right now I'm in my Snowflake, and if I go to my under the admin, okay, so we have something like partner connect. Okay, assume that you have not yet what tried the Fivetran, and right now you're in destination and you want to connect to the Fivetran. Okay, so what you can do, you can go to the partner connect and search for Fivetran. This is the other way. Okay, I'm just showing you, this is the other way. Can you see here under the data integration? So we have an option of Fivetran. Okay, so if I click onto this, so within just a click, I'm able to create an Fivetran account, and this will be my default database. Okay, so this is what it's asking the requirements. Okay, so Fivetran requires the following information to create your new Fivetran account. Okay, that is first name, it need a last name and email address. And so once you click on connect, it will redirect to new page where you need to create your Fivetran account. Anyways, we have already created, but I just wanted to show you this is the other way how you can create a Fivetran account, right? And so here by default they have provided, this is what the database is. Okay, so once you create a free account in the Fivetran using this option, this is what the database will be, and this is the warehouse, this will be the system user, and the system generated password will you will be getting it. Okay, and the system role, right? So this is what the option is. And in the drive, okay, I have already uploaded this particular steps. Okay, if you go to the drive, I'll be sharing this drive link once again. Okay, and all the resources I'll be uploading here itself. Okay, so any data sets or any files you want to refer it, or slides have not yet uploaded. I'll be uploading it. Okay, so if you need anything, any resources, please access this drive. Okay, I'm sharing this in chat once again. Okay, just check it. Okay, if you are able to access it, fine. So here I have added one PDF. Okay, so getting started with Fivetran and Snowflake. Okay, so if you try to open this, so here you can find the partner connect steps. Okay, so here if you just scroll down, so this is what the partner connect option which I've just showed you, right? And so this is what the option we got it, right? So database, data warehouse, system user, system password or system role, and just you need to click on activate. So it will redirect to your Fivetran page, and you need to fill the details, and yes, your setup is done, right? So this is how it's very simple. Okay, so to connect to the Snowflake. Okay, so we know two options. One is using the partner connect, we can connect to the Fivetran, or else we can go to the Fivetran, register there, and under the destination we can create a Snowflake connector, right? So we can add the connection details and we can connect with the Snowflake. This is what we have done yesterday, but this is other way. Got it? Any doubts? Just quick yes or no. Any doubts so far? Got it right? Partner connect. Any doubts?
No, you're good.
No. Okay.
No.
Fine. Okay. Okay, so this is my so let's have a quick overview of this dashboard. Okay, so we'll so that it will be easy for you to navigate. Okay, so right now so here you can see the company name. Okay, so while registering, of course, you will get the company name. Okay, so this is where you will be you will be seeing your company name here, right? And so below, okay, we have a different tabs, like we have the name, right? So whatever the name you have given while registering, you'll get your name, notification, some API keys. If you want to log out this particular site, you can just log out from this particular section. And we have resource and support. We'll see there later. It's just basically like if you need some support or documentation, or we have something like status. Okay, so this status tab is bit interesting. So here in the status, you will get all the system status. Okay, so their system status, like in sometimes like if some of the connectors is not it's slow or it's not working, or you'll get all the details from the status tab. For example, regarding the database connectors, so here you can see like the uptime of all these connectors, and right now it's operational. Okay, so due to some reason, if this is in down, you can just check the their connector status from this particular status tab. So from where you can access in the resource and support, you have a status tab. Just click onto this Fivetran status, and here you'll be able to access all the status, and even you can just subscribe to these updates. Okay, so you'll be getting updates regarding any connectors if they have some downtime, right? So we have engineering connectors, event connectors, file connectors. So we have all types of connectors here. Okay. So if you have, so if they have any scheduled maintenance, you'll be so this is what the updates you'll be getting it if you have if you subscribe to this the status. Okay, so if you subscribe, this is what the updates, like if they have any scheduled maintenance, you'll be getting all this details. Okay, so this you can access from the status tab. So in the account settings is very important. Okay, so where we'll be managing our users permissions, billing, like this is the user, whatever the company name, here we can see if we want to edit that, I can edit from here. These are some of the configurations to our account. Okay, we'll discuss this in detail. Okay, we have users and permission. Right now have only one user, right? So while creating this account, I have the account, I'm the person who have created this account, right? So I'm an account administrator, and this is my email address, and this is billing and usage. So we'll see that later. Fine, this is account settings, and this alerts is basically you'll be getting it like if you have some errors. For example, so right now I'm in different account. Okay, so this is a different account. In the alert section, can you see like one of my connector is broken? Okay, so in case like if have any some duplicated columns, or if any issues, okay, you'll be getting that in alert section, and you need to handle based on the alerts. Okay, for example, here in some of my connector there is a duplicate columns, so I have just got that alert, and I have one more what issue in my SQL server. Okay, that my connection is broken, like I want to reconnect it. So this is what the issue I'm getting it, right? So all the updates regarding that, your connectors will be getting under the alerts. Okay, so which is highlighted in red, so that easily you can identify, okay, so what are the errors you have in your connectors. Fine, so this is just this is what the tabs we have. Okay, it's very simple. Only connectors, destinations, and we have transformations tab. Okay, so this is the place, okay, so where we transform our data. So yesterday I told you, right? So Fivetran is ELT tool, right? So we are extracting the data and loading the data, and the transformations, about the transformation, even though the Fivetran is doing some of the basic transformation under the hood. Okay, but of course, like we need to do our transformations for a business requirement. Okay, so for those transformations, okay, I'll be working under this transformations tab. Okay, so once the data is loaded into our destination, so I can connect to the destinations. Okay, I can write the SQL scripts. Okay, so I can schedule that. Schedule in the sense I can orchestrate that, okay, to run those particular transformations on certain duration, right? So this is what the transformations tab is. So here we'll be understanding this in third or fourth day. Okay, so we'll learn all about the transformations. Okay, so this is just an overview of this website. Okay, so we have connectors, very simple, transformation, destinations, and only few tabs here. Okay, to get started with the Fivetran itself. Okay, I hope so everyone have connected their destination and at least one source, that is drive here, right? So this is what we have done so far, and you should be familiar with what actually the Fivetran is, right? It's a data integration tool, and it's a SaaS application, right? And it's a basically ELT tool, right? And it has a concepts of connectors which help us to connect to the sources as destination, and even we can transform the data, even we can orchestrate that orchestration also, it's possible in the Fivetran. Okay, these are some of the features you should be aware so far. Okay, so now we'll understand the data types. Okay, this is very important because so managing the data types, okay, so before getting into the data types, okay, let's try to add one more destination. Okay, so we have a source here, right? Like Google Drive, like yesterday, which we have created. I think it's COVID-19 cases we had in our folder, and so if I try to open this and go to the schema, okay, so here we have a source file and the destination table, okay, under the schema. Okay, so I'll go to the other account. Okay, I'll go to the some connectors. I'll open, assume like I'll open some Google Sheet here. Okay, Google Sheet. I'll go to the schema. Okay, so now the schema format is totally different. Correct. So I'll go to the other connector. Okay, I'll go to the SQL server, and I'll go to the schema, and here I have some different formats. Okay, so make sure, so yesterday also I have repeated multiple times, each and every connector has its own features, and it varies based on the connectors. Okay, for example, I'll show you one more thing. If I go to destination, so are the different destinations we have just configured. Okay, assume like this is the Snowflake. If I go to my BigQuery, which is managed by the Fivetran, I have an option of BI tools. Okay, but if I go to my any other like Snowflake, I don't have that BI tool. Okay, so that you should know it. Okay, so in which a warehouse you are in, and you should know it. Okay, it's not like if you are in some other destination and not able to find that option, means you are in some different section. Okay, so you should know that. Fine. So in the Google Drive, this is how the schema looks. Okay, you'll be wondering, okay, how we'll be getting to know, okay, this is what the schema option will be have, and what are the different inbuilt transformations performing for this particular connector. So for this, we have a complete documentations. Okay, always you can get into documentation there, and for this particular drive, you can just in case, okay, if your requirement is to move some Google files, okay, so sorry, some any files from the Google Drive to your destination, okay, you can get into their documentation and understand in depth. Okay, so this is how the schema representation for the Google Drive is. Okay, so we have a source file and we have a destination file, and yesterday we have moved this COVID-19.csv file to our destination. Okay, and so this is in connector, right? So let's go to the destination. Let's add the new destination now. I'll click on add destination. Okay, I'll just rename this as managed. Okay, assume like GCP managed. Okay, GCP managed, and click on add. Right, so if I click on add, so GCP managed is created. So now I need to select my destination. So here yesterday I told you we have two options, right? So I can connect to your destinations, right? So you can connect your destination, or I have an option of I don't have one. So if you select the I don't have one, so by default it will select a BigQuery. Okay, so here you can see, so this is a managed service by the Fivetran. So we'll create a free Google BigQuery project for you, and when your trial ends, we can transfer the ownership of your project. Okay, so this is what the managed BigQuery is by the Fivetran. Okay, so right now I'm selecting I don't have what account. Okay, I don't have destination, so I'll be selecting just a second. uh, okay. Okay, I don't have one, so I'll click on continue setup. Okay, so okay, so here a destination is GCP managed. Okay, this is what the name I have given, and the data set location, data processing. Okay, the Google again service provider. Okay, so these all options you'll get for each and every connector. Okay, so because under the hood it is operated by the Fivetran, right? It's completely managed by the Fivetran. You can choose any Google Cloud service provider. Time zone, I'll just keep it default and click on save and test. And even do this. Okay, please do the steps. Just go to your connectors, create your new connector, and select the BigQuery Fivetran manage service. Yeah, so my connection yeah, so connection is test. I'll click on view destination. Okay, so if I go to my destination, so I have two destination, the Snowflake and the GCP managed. There's a BigQuery, this is a Fivetran managed service, right? And it's got connected. If I open this, I can see the connection details like project ID, and even I told you like a destination group ID. So each and every destination will get its own group ID. Okay, just a unique ID. So this is a group ID, and the cloud region. So this is service provider, data processing location, and the default time zone for this particular connector, right? And this project ID. So if you want to rename the this name, right, the GCP managed. So yesterday I even have showed you, right? So we can rename this destination. We can test it always, and even we can edit the connection details. Okay, so one option, okay, so we'll be getting here is under is BI tools. Okay, so even in the Fivetran we can build reports and the dashboards. Okay, so to build these reports and the dashboards, okay, so we don't have for the other connectors in the sense, if you go for destination and if you go for Snowflake, under the Snowflake you'll not be able to find that BI tools. Okay, so it is not available for any destination. Okay, so it is available only for the managed service. Okay, that is Fivetran managed service, that is BigQuery. Okay, so if I go to my destination and select my GCP managed, I can find this BI tools. Getting it? Okay, so I'm just pausing it here. Have you people created? Just confirm in chat if you have just created this managed service, then I'll proceed ahead. Okay, just type S if you have created. Created. Okay, yes, thanks. Okay, yes. Okay, good. Fine. So many have created. Okay, I'll go to destinations. Yeah. So I'll go to destinations. So GCP managed, and here can you see this star icons? It's basically kind of like a pin. Okay. So in case like if you have many destinations here, okay. So if you want to pin some of the destination, you'll be just select this. Okay. So the star icon, it's like a pin. Okay. You are pinning this on the top. Okay. So if you want to pin this also, it's like pinned. Okay. So you can just unpin it. Okay. This is what the stars is, and this is the delete, right? So if you want to delete the connectors, you can directly delete it from here. Okay, so here you'll be wondering like I don't have an option to access it, right? Because in the destination, so when I created this destination, I just went to my Snowflake destination. I'm able to see my tables, right? I was able to see my tables, and I'm able to access all the whatever the data we have inside the tables, like COVID-19 cases. Okay, so this is what the option we have, like if I have any other destination. But if you have just selected the managed one, I don't have any option to just view that particular data or do some transformation on the data. Here it's not possible. The only available option under the GCP managed, that is the Fivetran managed service, here is you can access the data for under the BI tool. So here how you can work, assume like you want to build some dashboard, okay, on the data which is in the source, and so you can just plan accordingly, like some of the data or some of the tables you can push to this managed service, right? And some of the data you can push it for your SQL server. Okay, so this also you can just do it so that you can build the reports or dashboards in real time. Okay, because even it syncs so here if I go to my destination, so here under the destination, can you see here, so even we don't for example, if I go to my Snowflake, not in Snowflake. Okay, so in the connectors we have an option of all the syncing. Okay, so here like for example, if I just sync, so this Google Drive is connected to both Snowflake as well as what, to the GCP managed service. In case, okay, so if you from the destination you want to see what are different connectors it got connected, okay, right? If I'm in the Snowflake, I have an option here like view associated connectors. So if I click to open, so if I click this, so I'll be getting this Google Drive, because this is what the connector is connected to that particular destination. So that you can access from here. Okay, if I open the GCP managed and here I have a view associated connectors, I'll just select that, and this is the, so here we don't have any associated connectors. Okay, we have just created destination. Okay, see here we don't have any associated connectors for the destination which I've just created, right? So what I can do, so let me add a connector. So now if I click on add a connector, I'll be getting an option to choose a destination. Okay, so yesterday I told you, right? So there it automatically selected Snowflake. Why? Because we had only one destination. But when you click on, once you click on to this add connector, so now it will show you which destination you want to select it. Okay, so this is a very important step. So whenever you are clicking onto any connector, okay, so first you need to select which destination you want to move the data. If you have only one destination, by default it will select that. If it is not there, then you need to select which destination. Okay, so assume like I want to go with GCP managed. I'll click on next, and here I can select what, a same source. Okay, so Google Drive, which I've just selected, right? So I'll just go with this Google Drive. Okay, so where is my Google Drive? This is my Google Drive. I'll just go to this next, and we know how to select the Google Drive, right? So here what so here okay, I'll just explain this, what is magic folder and merge mode here. Okay, it's very simple. So when I click on magic folder, okay, so in the magic folder option, in the magic folder, because we are dealing with this connector, let me explain what is we are doing it here. Okay, so here we have a sync strategy. Okay, so sync strategy is basically how the syncing has to be happen, like if I click on initial sync, right, or like or based on incremental sync also, like how it basically behaves. Here we have a syncing strategy that is a magic folder and merge mode. So even this will be getting for all the file types, like even for the S3 also I think you will be getting it. You want to go with magic folder or a merge mode. The magic folder is, so in your drive, okay, so yesterday we have created a folder, right? Inside the folder Okay, we have a folder, and inside the folder we can have a multiple files here, right? And in the magic folder, so what happens is, so this is what the format is. We have a folder and we have multiple files inside this particular folder. So when you click on initial sync, okay, or a sync, so in the destination it will create each and every table for the each and for every file. This is the first, assume that this is the first file, this is second file, third file. So it will create a table for the first file, second file, and the third file. Okay, this is what the magic folder will do. For the merge mode, you have again same folder, but all the files will be merged into a single table. Okay, assume like you have the same set of columns in all the files. Okay, same set of columns in all the files, so it will just create a one table and it will merge everything. Okay, this is what the merge mode is. So before selecting the Google Drive, either need to go with the magic mode, magic folder, or merge. Okay, right now we are in the magic because we're adding, we can add a multiple files there, and for each and every file the table will be created in the destination. Got it? So this is what the sync strategy for the Google Drive is. So even like this sync strategy for you'll be getting for many file connectors. Okay, so if you want to connect with any files, so this is what the default option will be getting in either magic folder or a merge mode. Fine, so right now I'll go with the magic mode, right? And destination schema, I'll give it because already I have a drive there, right? So let's add GCP here, GCP managed. Fine, and we know how to do this, right? So I'll go to my drive. So this was sample data, I guess. Yeah, sample data, right? Sample data, share. Let me add this. Let me add this. Okay. Send. Let me share this and open sample data. I need to copy this. I'll go to my destination. Sorry, I'll go to my folder URL. I'll paste it here. Save and test. Yeah. So let's click on continue. Okay, so even let's start the initial sync. Okay, so now it's syncing. So I'll go to my destination. So if I click on Snowflake, the associated connectors for this is the Google Drive. And if I click on GCP managed, the associated connectors is Google Drive, GCP. Okay, there's a schema name which I have given, right? Yeah. So this way you can create, you can connect to the same connector with the different destinations also. Fine. So here right now it's syncing. Okay, let's wait. And if you, yeah, so if I, so here, so meanwhile, what I'll do is, to access this data, we'll be using a Tableau. Okay, it comes with 14 days free trial. So the only condition is you should have the business email ID with you. So this is not mandatory. So if you want to test it, okay, how it basically connect to your destination, you can download it along with me. Just click on Tableau download. I think I don't have the free version. Just let me check. Just a second. Tableau public. Okay. Okay, just click on Tableau desktop download. Hold on, I'll share the link. Okay, just hold on. Yeah, I'll just share this link. Okay, it comes with 14 days free trial, and the only thing you need for this is business email ID. Okay, I mean your company's email ID. Just enter that and try to download this. Okay, it's not mandatory, but if you want to test it, how it basically connect with your destination under the BI tool for the reporting. Okay, I encourage you to do it because this is important. Like in some scenarios, if you have some tables and if you want to just visualize the data, okay, before pushing into your destination, okay, it's only for the reporting, then yes, you can do it with help of this managed service under the Fivetran. Okay, managed service. So I'll just copy this and share it in the chat. Okay, you can just open this link and download it quickly. Okay, so it just takes 5 minutes of time. Let's do it fast. Okay, so here I'll just download the latest edition or else so each here the each trial will come for 14 days free trial. Okay, Sorry, each version. Okay, I need to enter this. It's already there. Okay. Okay, I already have the account, so just create an account. Okay, I can just do the what is the password? Just enter the details and click on download. Okay, Tableau desktop. Okay, I'll just stop share. I'll just reset my password and I'll just connect it back. Meanwhile, you just download it. Okay, and just confirm in chat once you have downloaded. Uh,
We can do the cloud version of Tableau, right?
Tableau desktop. Okay, Tableau desktop. I have shared the link, right? So download from. It's a Tableau desktop. Okay, click on Tableau desktop. Yeah,
You
it's
can do it on
it's
the
not
cloud.
cloud. You need to install it. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So whatever the link I have shared, the different versions, at least download one version. Okay. Or you can just wait. I'll just show you. Let me reset my password. You can download any version. Okay, just click on any download, so you'll be getting this, right? Yeah, so once you have just signed in. Okay, it's there. Okay, download.
Actually, Imran, I think we have a restriction, Imran. We can't install a
Uh,
Go.
yes, anyways, if it's not possible, you can just make a note of it. Okay, I'll just show you how the steps is. Okay. Okay, if you have restrictions, just you can just watch it. Okay, if someone in chat told like they have already installed it. Okay, the people who have installed it, you can just even I'm installing, just do next. Okay, yeah. So my installation is completed here. Uh, so okay, so just click on open.
Imran, I filled the information and clicked that created the account also with business
Okay.
account.
So, yeah. If you created account, just okay, just download this. I'll just share this chat. Okay. If already created account, just directly open this link. If you're getting sign in issue, sign in. Just sign in and download this desktop version. Okay. So here you will have the Windows download thing.
So,
Okay.
so
I'll
you are
just
going
share
to
this
share.
in chat once again. Directly downloading link. Yes, I've shared it. Just check. Okay. So I have just once you have downloaded, welcome to Tableau. I'll just read in terms and conditions. Okay, install it. Yes. It supports many BI tools, but I'll just show for one, that is Tableau. Okay, and others you can try it. Okay, so okay. Okay. So this is what you'll be getting it. Okay, once you sign in with the Tableau. Fine. Okay. So please concentrate. Uh,
Imran,
yeah.
Imran, I login and activated account.
Okay.
Then I'm getting this page like
Okay. Okay.
terms and
Shade.
condition
Shade.
page.
Okay. Shade fast. I'll just show you for one, so that others also can follow the same thing.
Okay, one minute, I'll say. So I got this page after activation.
Uh, okay. Just okay. So did you download? No, right? Still you have not downloaded, right?
No,
Okay.
no,
Just
no.
search for Tableau desktop. Download different versions. Type this way. Okay. Don't
Yeah,
search it here. You'll not get it. Okay. In the Chrome tab. Yeah. In the Chrome tab. Okay. Did you verify your Gmail, right?
yeah. Actually, by DCT login, I log in. So
Okay.
I got this one. So this activation mail I got after that.
Okay. Okay. So you verified, right?
Yeah, I verified.
Oh, okay, okay, done. Okay. So now go to your yes, Google Chrome. Yeah, Chrome, and in the search, yeah, so just type tableau desktop download different versions. Yeah, just type tableau, just remove that. Yeah, just remove that completely. Yes, tableau desktop download different versions.
Okay.
Different versions. Okay, Tamilasaran installed. Okay, how many have installed? Just type s if you have installed. No,
This
no,
one I have
just
to
yeah, go
download.
down and second link, download previous versions of tableau. Yes, click on that. Just scroll down. Yeah, go to downloads and release notes. Yeah, just go to that first link. Go, no, go top. Yeah, yeah, go to downloads and release notes. Oh, no, no, the first option, not here. Just go up, little up. Yes, in the answer section. Yeah. Okay, download latest version. You are using for first time, right? Okay, you're using
Yes,
first
yes.
time. Just download latest version itself. No issues. Okay, yeah. Download. Okay, login now. Click on login now. Yeah, pending verification is, you can see, enter your email to the, okay, so recent verification. Okay, just resend email. You need to verify once again, because asking for to verify once again. Okay, they have sent, verify it again, go to same site. Okay, you'll be able to download it. You'll get a verification link.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, just click onto that. Okay, in order to, yeah, just click onto that. Oh, verified now. Okay, so login. Okay, no, don't enter. Yeah, no, don't enter anything here. Okay, so the link which I've shared in chat. Okay, can you see the first link which I've just shared? Just open the directly. The link which I've shared. And what about other guys? Are you people downloading, or like just for confirmation? Like, I just wanted to like how many are doing it,
This one
installed, or you don't have access or permissions? Let me know.
again, it's came to this.
Downloading. Okay. Okay. Now login now. Click on login now. Yeah. Now it will work. Okay. Click on login now.
This screen coming again and again.
Okay, now it got. Okay, just scroll down and download it. Scroll down. Yeah, download this. Okay, fine. And after downloading, just do next. Okay, and they'll get a basic form. Just enter the same form and start free trial. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me come. Okay. Okay. Don't stop it once again. Okay. Let it complete. And others also can just do it once again. Don't have permission to install. Okay. Who don't have permission? Okay, they can just make a note of it. Just to see like how to connect with the BI tool. Yeah. Accept. Okay. Install it.
Yeah, hi Imran. This is Vem. I have one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically Tableau is a a BA tool which can generate the reports with the help of the different
Hmm,
database.
hmm.
But when it comes to the here, right, Fivetran. So what is the context we are now installing the Tableau on our desktop and what we are going to do? I mean,
Okay,
basically,
okay.
what is the
The
requirement?
context is here is so here. See, in the destinations we have already seen we have two types of destination. One is the managed one is the destination which we have, right? For the managed one, we don't have access to that data which have moved it. Okay. So if now I've done with the initial sync, right? But how I can access the data? Okay. The point here is for the managed survey, service, the managed service by the Fivetran. So here the point of using the Google that is BigQuery here is to connect to the BI tool, and if you want to analyze the data, okay, so whatever the connect, see the same connector I can connect to my destination, and even I can use the managed query for the visualization. Okay, for the visualization, if I want to build certain reports, okay, directly from the source, okay, so I can do it with help of Fivetran under the managed destination service. Okay, so this is where you'll be using this Tableau. Tableau is one of the option. Okay, I'll just show you once the installation is done. So Tableau is one of the option. Okay, so you can use other BI tools also. It has almost 7 to 8 BI tools listed. Okay, you can connect to any BI tool and access that data which is there in their destination. That is a managed destination. Okay, okay. Just select the start free trial. Okay, so just enter it and stop share. Okay, so now your setup is done. Fine. Let me explain this, like whatever the question he asked. Just stop share.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just go to. Yeah, so here the point is that's what the important question is, because see in this Snowflake, this is what my destination is, right? I can access the data here, right? So if I go to my destination, I can access this COVID-19 cases. But same, it's not possible for the managed one. For the Fivetran managed one, I don't have that option. Okay, so even though connection is done, but I don't have an option to play with data. The only thing the I can connect with here is with help of BI tool. Okay, so I can connect with the BI tool. So here, so I can connect with, so you can see. So if I okay, let me I'll show you the steps. The only thing is, so I can connect with the BI tool and visualize the data. So right now I have only one connector. The one so this is moving to my visualization tool, right? And one is moving to my Snowflake destination. So the purpose of using the managed Fivetran managed destination is to visualize the data, because this BI option, okay, so it does not have in any other destination option, in any other destination, not Snowflake, not Redshift. Right now they don't have any option directly to connect to the BI tool from here. Okay, so the only
Yes, Imran, I got
option
it.
they have here is
I
from
got it.
the
Yeah, I
managed
got it.
service. Okay, got it
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I hope like everyone have done. Okay, so this is my Tableau. Okay, so this is the BI tool, right? So I can just connect with many sources. Okay, many servers from here. You can see it has almost um, many connectors here. Okay, 72 connectors where I can just connect to the connect to my some data, right? So I can just build the visualizations. But here, so in the Fivetran, so right now I'm in the Fivetran. I'll go to my destination under the in the managed. I don't have an option to access the data, so the only way is using the BI tool. Just click on this BI tools, and here you have the connect your first BI tool. Just select that, and this is what different options we have. Okay. Okay, so here you have, like, if you don't have the BI tool, just request it. So yeah, beta. Okay, so here we have Google Data Studio, Looker, okay, Tableau, Sigma. Okay, we don't have Power BI. Okay, so these are the listed BI tools of where you can connect from the Fivetran. Okay, so right now I've installed this Tableau, right? I just select the Tableau here. uh, so if you select Tableau, so here the okay, just click on authorized. You need to give the authorization to connect to the BI tool. So whatever the account and password you have set for this. Okay, so authorization is completed. This is my user email address. Okay, for this Tableau. Okay, let me click on save and test. Okay, so view BI tool. Oh, what happened? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think here I can't show it because so here if I go to my again destinations and go to the JCB managed under the BI tools, so my Tableau is got connected, right? So I can see right now it's not connected by anything, right? So so here if I go to my uh, BI tool, so where is the BI tool? So this is my BI tool and search for what? BigQuery. So this is my BigQuery. Just select that. You're using sign in auth. Okay. Uh, sign in. Just a second. Hold on. Sign in. Okay. Okay. So my connection is done. I'm not able to see that COVID-19 data because here I'm using the different. So this is my what? Some random email address. Okay. So Fivetran will not allow this email address. Okay, to verify it. So here I have added my company email address to connect it. But under this I don't have COVID-19. So I have signed in using the different email address. Anyways, okay. So can anyone share the screen who is doing it? I can just guide it. Stop share. Can anyone just can share it if the people have downloaded? Can show once.
I'll share my screen.
Yes, yes. Do it fast. Okay.
So,
So we'll move ahead. Fine.
so I did
Uh,
this one.
okay. So now go to your more section. Okay. Here authorized. Click on authorized.
Okay.
Okay. Use the same email address. Okay. So for the you have used the same email address for the this also, right? For the Tableau.
No, it didn't ask actually.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
See here. You
No,
want
it's
to
not
go back?
authorized. Uh, yeah, just go back. Okay, you do one thing. Just add plus BI tool, or below you have an option. No, yeah, just select that. Yeah, select Tableau. Yeah, authorize it. Click on
But here
authorize. Yeah.
again,
Yes,
mail ID and
authorize
those
it.
things happen.
Okay, you're not getting authorizing option. Okay, hold on. Any other who is doing it? Anyone who's doing it? Okay, no one. Okay. Any other participant who is doing it? No. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Let me share my screen.
Okay. Okay. Just stop share. This one, yeah.
Yeah, I authorized it.
Authorized it. Okay. Save. Okay. Save and test. Now save and test. Okay. So you have same email. You have you. Okay. In the BI tool. Okay. Have you registered BI tool?
Yeah.
Tableau. Okay. Open your Tableau now.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
I reshare my screen. Yeah.
Go to more. Search for Google BigQuery. Just type BigQuery. Yeah, here you have an below. Yes.
ADVC or
No. Below one. Yeah. Sign in. Just click on sign in. Use the same address. Okay, same email address.
okay. Sure.
So why we need to same email address? Because it has been authorized to that email address, right? Okay. Allow access. Yeah. Yeah, same email address. Okay, now we'll get it. Allow. Okay, now done. Go to your Tableau now. Okay, this is done. Go to Tableau. Okay. In the project, just select that project. Yeah. Can you see your table name?
No. No.
Okay, select dataset. No, no, not this. Okay, what it's COVID-19, right? Your data was.
Yes, COVID-19.
Select billing project once again. Billing project. Select that. Okay. Project managed. Okay, this is you are getting from Fivetran, right?
Yes.
Managed. Yeah, select that. But you don't have data. Why? Okay, just go. Just do. If you have done initial sync, go to your Fivetran.
Oh, okay. I did not.
Okay, go to your connectors. Okay, first you go for destination. I'll see whether, let's see, like okay, oh, you paused it. Okay, okay. Go to select that. Yeah, select that. View associated connectors. Click on view associated connectors. Okay, so now just resync it. Yeah, open that. Yeah, start initial sync. Yeah, now you should get it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
don't stop it. Okay, let's because I don't have access. I'll
Okay.
just show for other
Okay.
participants.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is how. So now he's doing initial sync, right? So now he has connected with the BI tool also. So now once the initial sync is done, so I can access the data from my BI tool. Okay. So now let's wait for the sync to happen. So even we call this as a historical sync or initial sync. Okay. So initial sync in the sense the first time whatever the records you have in your source, you are moving all those records. Okay. So this is what the historical or initial sync. We'll discuss this sync in detail.
Imran, Rajaram here. Meantime, I have a question. Like, we are setting up this connection, right? In the
Hmm.
connectors,
Hmm.
is there a way to restrict the files? Let's say my drive or even the S3 bucket. I have different files. Let's say I want to restrict the CSV files alone. So, is
Yes,
there a
yes,
future
yes,
we
that's
have?
possible. Yeah, that we need to check for the S3 connector. Okay, I even worked in S3 also. Even you have that option. Okay, once you connect with the S3, you have that option in the connectors. So that all this we can handle in the schema. Just go to schema because here we have done with the Google Drive only, right? So even I'll show you if you
Mhm.
go for Google Sheets. I'll just show in some time. So if you go for Google Sheets, there also you can restrict certain columns. You can hash the certain columns. We can perform all those things. Okay. Yes, it's possible. We can restrict it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, done.
Also,
Yeah.
is there a way to parameterize all these things?
Uh, Sorry, I didn't got it. Parameterize in the sense.
I mean, the connection
Hmm.
level we are setting up, right? The
Hmm.
schema and file
Hmm.
names.
Hmm.
So those things we can set variables, those kind of steps.
Yes, yes, we can do it. That we can do it in the schema section. Okay.
Okay.
Still we have not yet discussed, no. So hold it. Okay. So so
Okay.
I'll when I connect with the SQL server, no, we'll get a many options there. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So now go to your destination. Yeah. Tableau. You can go to your Tableau. Yeah. Now you can go to Tableau. Yeah. Reselect it once again. Everything. Yeah. Select that once again. Not it. Okay.
Or go back and
Yes. Yes. Go back and do it once again.
Yeah.
Select that. Yeah, select the drag and drop that COVID on the drag table on the left hand side. Yeah. Okay. So now click on that sheet one. Click on sheet one. Can you see here like below sheet one? Yeah, click on that. Okay. So this is where all your columns you got it. Okay. So yeah. So this is for the BI people, the analyst people who want to just visualize or build reports, who are aware of Tableau tools and like Tableau stuff. So here they can build all the reports. Okay. So you can just drag and drop any one column, like for example, country, region, or case types. Okay. Just drag and drop in the sheet or in the columns or rows. Oh yeah. On the top you can see columns and rows. Okay. So there you can just drag and drop any one thing. Okay. Just yeah. So okay. So this is where. So right now this is a live connection, right? So tomorrow if you're adding some new data in your Google Drive, okay, some other data, and so it will do the again sync, right? So it will do some incremental sync, sorry, magic folder sync, right? So yeah, because you have set for the 6 hours, by default it is 6 hours. Next 6 hours it will sync once again, and whatever the tables you have added in there, it will reflect in the Tableau. Okay, so this way you can create a dashboards. Okay, this is for the managed. Okay, so I hope you understood the two types of destinations. One is the managed, okay, by the Fivetran. As for the managed one, we have the BI tool option. We can connect with the different BI tools. And for the other one, if I'm selecting I have a destination, then I can select my required destination, whether it's Snowflake or Redshift. Okay, thanks. You can stop share. Okay. So now so let me start share my screen. Okay, I hope this is cleared. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Fine. Okay. Here I'm not able to see it because I'm in different email address. So that is okay. I'll just close this. Fine. So another destination. I hope this board you got it right. Managed one and the Snowflake. Fine. So that's one in the managed. So here under the BI tools. So you can see like which email address. Okay, right now it's not connected, but if you the people have connected, no, if you just go and check like where it has got connected. Okay, so here you can delete it. Okay, if you want to delete this BI tool, you can just delete it. Okay, so fine. Okay, so next is data types. So data types is very important, right? Because so if in the source you have some defined data types, but if your connector doesn't have the data types or how it basically works, how this Python handles those that inform like those such type of scenarios, okay, you'll understand that. Please make a note of this. Okay, in while you're working, okay, like if you want to move certain tables, okay, so there may be some different data type defined in the Fivetran or in the source, right? So this is very important. You can just make a note of this thing. Okay, so now we'll understand about the data types. Okay, usually what happens, so we have a data types, right? So we have a data types. Anyone will see one simple examples. Okay, fine. So in the data types, so here the Fivetran supports some standard list of data types. Okay, just give me just a okay. So Fivetran supports. Okay. So here this is what the Fivetran supports. Okay. So here I'm writing the Fivetran supports a standard list of data types. The list of data type it supports is like Boolean. I'll just write Boolean. I'll write in short form. Okay. Boolean. We have something like short. Okay. Then we have int. It supports int. Then long. Okay. Float. This comes under for the numeric. Then double. Big decimal. Local date. Okay, so we have a local date time. Okay, string. Okay, JSON and binary. Okay, so we have I think one more XML. Okay, and binary. Sorry, binary and XML. Okay, so these are some of the standard data type which is supported by the Fivetran. Okay, can even check in the document also. That's not possible. I just wanted to list it. Fine. So this is what the supported data types is. So how it basically works. Okay, so here you have sources, right? So here you have a source. and you have Fivetran right in between, and you have a destination. Okay, so whatever the connector you're using, okay, of course, like in the source you have some tables, correct? You have tables, okay, and for each and every table there could be a scenarios, okay, in the sources, okay. Here we have two types of scenarios. What? One, you have a table, okay, assume this is a CSV, okay, and you have I'll take some real time like Salesforce, okay. You have a Salesforce, some application, and you want to connect with the Salesforce application, and you here also there's some defined tables, correct? Or else in your case, okay, SQL server, okay, assume we have a SQL server. Of course, in each and every column for the table we have defined some data types here, correct? So what Fivetran will do, so Fivetran has their connectors, right? So Fivetran has their connectors. For example, if you want to connect with the CSV, assume one of the options is Google Sheets or Google Drive, okay, like Google Drive, okay. So we have a CSV file uploaded. What the Fivetran will do, Fivetran connector, okay, so we have a connector here. Fivetran connector will do what? It analyzes the source data to check whether the connector has specified the data type for that particular column. Very important, okay. We have a connector, so connector will analyze the source data to check whether the connector has what, a data type column for that particular data, right? So so here it will analyze. So here also it will analyze. Here also we have a connector, right? So if you want to connect with the Salesforce, we have a Salesforce connector. If you want to connect with a SQL server, we have a SQL server connector. So it will connect, will analyzes the tables, right? It analyzes, it will check whether this connector has defined it's defined data types for the this sources, okay. So this is how it basically internally works, and they have classified this connectors the column matchings, okay. So whether so this process, okay, so whatever the connector is able to identify the sources, they have two types of data types, something like explicit data types, okay. So they have like explicit data types, and we have something like implicit data types, okay, implicit data types. So what is this explicit? So explicit data type is basically so they'll not infer anything, okay. Fivetran will not infer anything. It will not infer anything in the sense like here for example in the explicit, so whatever the here we have a sources, we have defined some data types here, right? So whether it's short, int or boolean, and in the destination also it supports the same data types. So then the explicit connectors are those connectors or those data types where the Fivetran will not infer anything, and it directly, because this connectors has supported data types here, it will directly move it, okay. So those such type of connectors we call it explicit, okay. So when I say explicit data types, so they are specified by the source, and if the connector specifies as the column data type, so here they don't infer anything directly for each and every column, whatever the data type they have mentioned, it will be able to infer that, and it will move the data accordingly in the destination. This is what the explicit is, okay. When I say implicit, so here the Fivetran has to interfere here. Why the Fivetran has to interfere? For example, in the CSV file, they have the CSV file will automatically will not define the data type, right? For example, if I have some employee data set, I have a name, so CSV file doesn't know, okay, the name contains the string here, right? So basically here we not define the data type for the particular column. So what the Fivetran will do, so Fivetran will first identify, okay, its type, okay, the column the data type of its column, it will infer, okay. So wherever the Fivetran is interfering to find the column types, okay, so those types so those data types we call as implicit, okay. So I have written here, okay. Explicit is for this type of connectors, okay, and implicit is for this type of connectors, okay. We have a explicit data types, okay, which is specified by the source, and whatever the data types we have in the source, it will same reflected in the destination, because that connectors will have those particular data types supported, okay. What is implicit? So implicit, again same thing. So here the connectors will analyze it, and it will Fivetran will infer it, and it will identify what is the data types it has in the source, and it will check whether the connectors has that specified data types. If not, it will just do some basic transformation and finally load the data into destination. This such type of data types we call as implicit, okay. Naming is just for your understanding, okay, but you should know what is explicit and implicit, how internally Fivetran handles such type of data types, okay. Any doubts so far till here? Understood what is implicit and what is explicit? Any doubts, please you can unmute and ask me, okay, just regarding explicit and implicit.
Imran,
Yeah.
one question. Actually, like the first time syncing happened, and again after 6 hours, if it's scheduled to sync it again, so will it be like full trunk and load, or how it is?
Incremental, okay. So still have not discussed sync, okay, for the question which you've asked, so I'm explaining here, okay. So sync, okay, so here first we have done the initial sync, right? When the initial sync is done, so it will load all the historical data to your destination, correct? So this is done. And in next, you can see next sync is in 6 hours. So here the next sync is basically a incremental, okay, incremental strategy. Incremental strategy in the sense, while defining the Google Drive, we have selected what? A magic folder, correct? Okay, so what the magic folder sync will do is it will just look for the new files, okay, because already historical done is done, okay, it will not touch it, okay, it will just search for the new files which is present in this particular folder, and it will only move that particular files to the destination. It's basically, it will follow the incremental. In short, after the initial sync, it will automatically search for the incremental data. Incremental data means the new data, okay, it will search for the new files or records, and it depends based on the connector. So because right now we have done one for the Google Drive, the Google Drive will search only for the new files in that particular folder. So as we go ahead, so even I'll show you for the SQL Server as well as the Google Sheets, it will search for the new the rows, okay. If the new rows is coming in that particular section, in particular table, it will move only those records, okay. But remember, so when the initial sync is done, it will not touch the old records until we do resync, okay. So even we have option of resync. So this all I'll discuss in detail when I go specifically for the syncing option, okay. I hope you understood, right? So, you got it?
Yeah. Imran, so is there any way like the same files will get changed and
Sorry, same?
like the same old file which is
Hmm.
already synced,
Hmm.
if there is any change, then how it will do?
Okay, you're talking like if there is a change in that particular file.
Yes, right.
Okay, so you're telling, okay, so there is some changes in the file and how it basically reflects in destination, right?
Yes, right. Like let's
Yes,
say
that's what the
file.
incremental done is. Okay, see, so here, so clearly I can say, so when the initial sync is done, that is historical data is done, in the existing file are some new records, okay. So whatever update, delete, modify or new records, all this will be tracked internally by Fivetran, okay. So this all will be reflected, okay, in the destination. So whatever the question you ask, if it is modified or deleted, or you're adding some new records, okay, I'm not taking the case of the Google Drive here, assume like SQL Server itself, okay. I have created a table and I have added a new table in the same schema, or I have modified some table. Everything will be reflected based on the sync strategy, okay. So for each and every connectors, we have a different sync strategies. So here in the SQL Server, it will track both, okay. So it will reflect in destination. So here, see, here we don't have anything to handle. Yes, we can handle the syncing strategies, but whatever the modifications or updates or deletes you're gonna do it, so that is reflected in the destination automatically in the next sync, okay. So how it behaves when adding the new data or deleting the new data, or all this tracking, I'll explain in detail when I go for the syncing option itself, okay.
Sure, Imran.
Okay, now
Thanks.
you understood, right? But for the question which you've asked for the modification, yes, it will reflect in destination. In case, okay, if you have not modified anything, it will sync it, okay. It will do sync in, but it will not. I mean, like, it doesn't matter, okay. It will just verify internally that there is no changes in this particular files or table. It will not do anything. It will keep as it is. But in case if there is some updates or deletes, so this is where actually the Fivetran is charging, okay. So they have something like MAR, okay, monthly active rows. So based on this updates or deletes only, they are charging the pricing, okay. So I'll come to that later, okay. When I go for sync, then I'll explain the MAR, how the pricing basically works in the Fivetran, okay.
Sure, Imran.
Got
Sure.
it? Okay,
Thank you.
fine. Yes, any other questions? Please ask me if you have any small doubts also, okay. uh,
Can
Anything,
we
please.
define our own upgrade strategy or sync
Yeah, that's what
strategy?
I'll come to that and we'll explain syncing, okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so right now in data types, okay. So we'll cover the
Okay.
data types, because yeah, so we need to know like how the data types basically infer in the sources and destination, okay. Right now in explicit bit, I'll come to sync, okay. So soon I'll come to sync, okay. Syncing strategy will explain, okay. Okay. So in data types, I think like no issues, right? So we have implicit and we have explicit. When I specifically say implicit, so here the Fivetran will infer the data types, okay, and so based on the data type defined in the source, so it will identify that, and accordingly it will move to destination. So in the destination, of course, like if you have employee details here like name, so it will infer that it is a string. So in the destination, I can see it as a string. So the string is from where I'm getting, because the Fivetran has inferred that, okay. So for this is what the implicit data types is, okay. When I have explicit, so here whatever the source has defined the data types, it will infer that, and so same data types will be pushed into destination, Okay. So now, so here, so for the here we have in Python we have something like data hierarchy. Okay. So they follow the strategy something like subtype and super subtype. Okay. So let me clear that and I'll just show you that. Just a second. Okay. So if this is cleared, so the next thing here is, yeah. Okay, so here this is how it will infer the data types. Okay, so here the in their hierarchy, so JSON and the string are the largest data types. Okay, so here moving downward. Okay, so here so they move downwards. Okay, so here they'll move downwards. Okay, so here every subsequent data type. So here every subsequent data type, they select a data type in such a way that so every subsequent data type has a smaller memory footprint. Okay, certain data types has a smaller memory footprint. Okay, so how it basically works is, so here I have four examples, so here you'll understand clearly. So before this hierarchy, uh, yeah. Okay, let's consider example. Okay, so there is a connector which specifies the count column as int. Okay, so there is some, this is an explicit example. Okay, so here we have a column called count, and it is, we have defined the data type of the count column as int. Okay, so we write the data to destination as int because this is explicit. Okay, so whenever there's explicit, it will write as it is. So now one more scenario, you change the data type of a count column in your source database to double. Okay, so what you're doing now, you're making an update to the existing column. Okay, so assume like you have done the initial thing and done, and next you have updating the count column to a double. Okay, in the next sync, the connector specifies the count column as double. Okay, any doubt? No, right? It's very simple because initially it was int, it has changed to int, and next it has defined the what you have moved the data, you have changed the data type of the count column to a double, and right now it has reflected in the destination as double. Okay, so internally the Fivetran, how it defined this based on this strategy I've written, right? Every subsequent data type has smaller footprint, so always it will search for the smaller memory footprint for the data type you're selecting it. Okay, so internally it will perform something like a super type. Okay, so what the super type here is, so it will compare here. Okay, so here we have what, a double. Okay, and here we have an int. Okay, the comparison that the super type of int and double. Okay, so the super type of int and double will go for a double. Okay, so super type in the sense it will so here how I can say is, uh, internally, for example, you have data as int, right? So sorry. Okay, you have a data like 2. Okay, yeah, you have a 2. Okay, so here so you have, what happened, just a second. Okay, so before this, one second. Okay, so here what I told. So here we have huh. So here, so initially it was count, right? So in the destination it is printed as count, like it has changed the data type to count. Here we have changed the data type of the count column to a double. So in the next sync, it will identify the column there and it will change to double. Okay. So what internally it happening is it is doing something like super type. Okay. So we have something like a subtype. Okay. So we have something like subtyping and super type. Okay. Super type. Okay, so what the super type here is, so internally it will identify, we have this hierarchy, right? So here, this is what the hierarchy I've just showed you here, right? So this is what the hierarchy is. So we have a JSON, okay? So we have a string, okay? So this hierarchy is like, for example, so always it will look for the smaller memory footprint, right? So here, in case like you have defined the int, okay, in the source, it will reflect as an int. But if there is some change in the data type, okay, so in the source you have defined it int, but in the destiny in the source you have defined as a double, but in the destination we have a int, okay? It internally it will check the values, okay? So it will select the appropriate data type, okay, to store that particular data, okay? Either with go with the int or float. It will check the super type of this two, which has the higher precedence, okay? So it will go for the double, okay? Super type, okay? So always will check for the two super type that is higher precedence under this. But this is a hierarchy which is defined in the Fivetran, okay? This is same for all the connectors, okay? Whatever the connectors they have defined, it's universal for all the connectors. And so super type comes into picture whenever there is a change in the data type, okay? So what is the change? So this is what they change in the source. We have defined as a double, but in the destination during the initial thing it was int. So it will check the what, a super type of int and double. The super type of int and double is double, so it will store it as a double in the destination. Okay, so this was during the initial thing. I'll repeat once again, this is very important because whenever you're working with the tables, right, so you'll be having many tables, many records, many schemas, okay? So you'll get it's very difficult to identify is, okay, why the data types are changing, okay? So this you need to know it in detail, okay? I'll just tell this once again. If you have any doubt with respect to this, you just ask me the questions, okay? So here we have a count column. This is the during the first initial thing, right? So in the count column we have defined int. In the destination also we have int, okay? So in the second thing, okay, I have changed my source count column to a double, okay? But in the first thing, but my destination has the int. So how the Fivetran will handle this size type of in the next thing? It will do the super type, okay? Internally it will do the super type. So basically to identify the super type of int and double. So in the destination, the next thing it will change the int to double, okay? So this is how it happens in the explicit data type, okay? So whatever you're making changes in the sources, it will reflect in the destination. But if you're modifying something, it will undergo the super type. It will identify which is the appropriate data type to store the particular data by inferencing and using the hierarchy, okay? The higher precedence will select that particular data type and will store in the destination, okay? This is for the explicit. How in the implicit? So here from the CSV file we infer that the final data for the count column is double, okay? Assume like they have identified because in the implicit the Fivetran will identify, right? So here they identified that the data type of the count column is double, and in the destination the count column is stored as a string, okay? So now it will do the what, a super type of double and string. So in the hierarchy we can see, right, in the double and the string the hierarchy goes for the string, so it will store it as a string, okay? So this is how it basically behaves. This hierarchy no need to I mean like by heart or image, you always will get everything in documentation itself. So but remember, so this is what the hierarchy is. First we have a JSON, the highest level. The next memory footprint is for the string, and they have defined it for the numeric. In the numeric again we have different data types like big decimal, double, float, long, int, short, and boolean, okay? So this it goes downward, right? So it has a smaller memory footprints, and the main objective of the Fivetran is to store the data in the smaller like using this smaller memory footprints, okay? Even it will check for the data integrity. There should not be have any data loss or anything, okay? It will identify by itself. That's what. So we will not be changing any properties or modifying anything unless like in IICS we need to see the precision, okay? What length of data we need to have, like of course we'll be modifying. We have such properties in the other tools, right? But in the Fivetran it will automatically do all those inferring, all the mapping, okay, internally. Okay, so this is how the implicit and explicit works. Okay, please ask me if you have any doubts here. So this is very important. So one is, if you are making any changes in the explicit, it will directly reflect in the destination. If there is any mismatch, it will do the super type. But in the implicit, because in the CSV file we don't have defined data types, so the Fivetran will infer that. Okay, in the destination, if you have created some columns and if you want to move it, okay, so assume like this, if we have in the destination we have set that as a string, then it will do a super type of double and string, and it will always go with the super type. What is the subtyping? So subtyping is basically used to have the smaller memory footprint. Okay, so in case like if you have int and float, okay, so based on the values whatever they have defined in the columns, it will identify which has a smaller memory footprint, so that even they'll even though we don't have any what a data loss while selecting that specific data types, right? So based on those options, we'll be selecting based on those options, the Fivetran will select automatically such data types. But you should know this hierarchy. Okay, so for example, if you are change some data type, it automatically change to string. You should know why it is doing it. Why? Because of the super typing which is mentioned, which is done by the Fivetran. Okay, so if you are changing long, okay, and after the initial sync, if you are changing that to int, it will do the super type of long and int, and which is the has the highest precedence, it will go for that. Okay, so this is what the data types is. Yes, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I'll just pause for some time, then we'll go for the next few hands on. Okay, yeah, we'll see this working of this data types in real time also, by practicals. Okay, when I connect with the SQL server. Yes, any doubts or anything? If I want to repeat it once again, please ask me. I'll repeat it.
Imran?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is subtyping?
Okay, so subtyping, I'll just write it down here. Wait. Let me show in the documentation itself. One second. Okay, so here we have what, a subtype and a super type, right? So in the subtype, okay, so our objective in the subtyping is to minimize the type that we choose while still preserving the data's integrity from the source. For example, we have a short subtype of int, right? Because the every short is also an int. Okay, like in the numeric, if they have defined numeric, okay, so either we can go with the short or int. Okay, so here, so using the subtyping, we use the smallest possible data type to store the data. So whenever we are dealing with this subtyping, right, so our main objective is to use the smallest possible data type to store the data. Okay, so why? It has its own advantages, like it has like what what the in terms of transformations. Okay, and here yeah, so here of course, like whenever we are selecting this option, right, so we check that we don't have any loss of precision. Okay, so this is what the subtyping is. When I say subtyping, the main objective here is to find the smallest possible data type to store the data, because in the hierarchy, so we have a short, okay, we have a int. Okay, so it will check. Okay, so which is the shortest, okay, which is the, I mean, subtyping where it can store without losing the precision, it will go for the what, a short. Okay, so short is a subtype of the short and int. Okay, the subtyping, okay, it will go for the short. Okay, the main objective of subtype is to identify the smallest possible data type. What is a super type? Super type here is, in the source we have a destination, and whatever the changes you're gonna make in the source, it has to reflect in the destination also, right? So here the example here is, that's what I gave you, right? So here if you have defined int, okay, and here here it's a precedence. Okay, so in the hierarchy, whatever the precedence, you need to select that. Okay, so here we have a double. Okay, so when you make the changes and in the next sync it has to choose between this, right? So that's where the super type comes. It will check, okay, which has the higher precedence between the int and double. Okay, so it will go with the double because of the super type. Okay, this is what is super type. When we're dealing with the subtype, it always search for the smallest possible data type to store the data. Okay, so this comes under the inferring. Okay, so for example, so how inferring in the sense, like you have a CSV data, right? In the you have a records here. Okay, it will infer the values here. Okay, for example, in the first inferring it finds some type of data as int. Okay, so then we have some floating data, so it will choose okay, which data type it has to store, whether it has to go with the int or short. Okay, so it will infer some of the column values present in this particular column, and finally it will, based on the subtype concept, the objective is to store the smallest possible data without with preserving the data's integrity, then we'll go with the short. Okay, so this is the inferring from the Fivetran itself. Okay, here we're not doing anything. Okay, this is how internally it works. I'm just explaining that. Okay, what are the super type? So based on the precedence here. Okay, so if you are making some changes, okay, so see in real time, so if you are you have a int and double, and if you are what doing the next sync, okay, so here so assume like in the first thing you have int and int. Okay, so here you have a double. Okay, but in the next thing here you also will see double. How? Because of the super type. It will do the check the precedence and it will identify which data type it has to select based on the data hierarchy they have mentioned. Got it?
Yeah, but Imran, like if we are like doing subtyping, so it based on the data, because if data like length is getting lower, so data truncation may happen, right?
Yes, the truncation also it happens. So here, yes. So here you'll have three types of data truncation. Like if here we have for the binary, okay, we have a string, and even we have one more data type. So what happens is, so if you have defined this thing, okay, you'll get something like Fivetran errors. Okay, for this string, it will truncate the data. Okay, in case, okay, so if there is some super type, okay, by default it has truncated some data, because assume like your source has some lengthy string characters. Okay, but in destination it's not supporting, it will load it but will truncate it. Okay, this is how it behaves for the string. But for the others, okay, for the binary, or I think like for the other data types, it will not load it itself, it will throw error, it will throw something like Fivetran error. Okay, I have some I have showed in some documentation, I show that. Okay, you'll get something like Fivetran errors. Okay, it will not load the data in the destination in case if there is some issues with the data types. Okay, these are the two common issues. One is the truncation, string automatically truncated, okay, and it will push the data, you will have the truncated value. But here again, that's what, it depends on the destination. Okay, it's not universal, it depends to connector and destination to connector, connectors to connectors. In case if this defined destination, will load it. Okay, don't have any problem. But in the destination, if they have defined some truncation like certain length, then it will truncate and load it only for the string, for the binary, and I think like for the other int numbers. Okay, so you'll get an Fivetran error. Okay, data type error, so truncation error. Okay, so based on that, you need to modify it or to make some changes to it. But yes, that scenario is possible. Whatever asked, it's the truncation, it's possible.
And subtyping, like explicit and implicit cases also subtyping happens, or only super type?
No, both. Okay, both. Oh yeah, so see, this is the internal cause of here how it basically decides the data types is based on super type and subtype. Whether it's implicit or explicit, it doesn't matter. Okay, super type, what I'll do internally. Okay, so this is the internal architecture of Fivetran. So if we have a column like count, it has 1, it has 1.0, then we have like 2.0034. Okay, this is CSV file. What it will do, it will just infer these values right internally. It will check, okay, so whether what is the optimal data type it has to select based on subtype. What is the objective of subtype? Smallest possible data type, keeping in mind that preserving the data integrity of the source. It will select that data type. Got it? This is what is subtype. Fine. What is super type? Initially it has defined what? Assume like it has defined int, okay, and in the destination it will store it as int. And tomorrow if you want to modify, okay, in case, okay, you are modifying it by default this as to double. Okay, in the next sync, because there is a mismatch int and double, so which data type it has to select based on the hierarchy, it will check the super type, and that data type, whether it has to go with int or double, it will decide and will store that particular data type. This is what the super type and subtype is. Yes. Any other questions? You got it right? Your explanation is enough, or do you wanted to give anything?
Yes, so
Hmm,
it's like internally it's getting decided like whether it
hmm,
will go for subtype or
hmm,
supertype based
hmm,
on the data
hmm, hmm,
type.
hmm. Yes. Sorry. Come again once again. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Hmm,
internally it's getting decided,
hmm,
like seeing the data only, it's
hmm.
deciding like whether it will go for
Yeah.
subtype
For
or
the
supertype,
implicit.
right?
Okay. For the implicit. Yeah. Okay, for the explicit, see if the connector is supporting the data type, then it has no issues. It will store the same data type in the destination, but the destination has to support the data type. Okay, that's where the two categories comes, right? If anyone wants to repeat this concept once again, implicit, explicit, and supertype, subtype, let me know. I'll give one more brief overview. Yes or no, like, or else I'll move to the next one. If I
Can we
confuse you,
override it?
okay.
Can we override it or leave it to Fivetran to do it?
Yeah, see that's what the two major option here is. See, so in the data types, I told two types, right? So one is explicit, okay. So in the explicit, I'll go with one explicit. What the explicit will do, will give complete authority for the source and destination. Okay, here Fivetran is not interfering. Okay, they have connector. It will identify the source data types of the source. Okay, is checked. Okay, all these connectors is verified or data types is verified, and even the destination also has these data types. Then it has no problem moving whatever the data type you have defined in the source to destination. So same will be moved. Okay, don't have any problem. This is what the explicit. Okay, tomorrow, okay, for the next sync, okay, you found that you want to change the data type of this any one column in the explicit itself. Then what you'll do, you'll change it. Okay, you'll change to int to double. Okay, but in the previous thing there was int. So this is where the subtyping concepts come. Okay, what super type concept come, what is it will identify. Okay, I need to go with double or int because right now you have changed it, right? So in the next thing it will there is some modification, so it will go with what, a double. Why? Because based on the precedence or data hierarchy they have mentioned. This is for the explicit. Got it? For the implicit, next we have what, implicit. What the implicit will do here, the Fivetran should interfere because in the source there is no data type defined. Example, CSV files, right? There's a no data type defined. So Fivetran will come here and infer, okay, okay, which data type it has to select. For that selection, it has to check the values, right? And infer which data type it has to select. That's where the subtype comes. Okay, what is the main objective of subtype? To select a data type which has the lower memory footprint, so that without losing the data integrity, right? It has to maintain the precision also. So it will identify that data type. Okay, after finding it, then the connector will also support this whatever the data, because the Fivetran has built the building connectors, right? So they have the connectors which has supporting all this data type which are defined, and in the destination it will move the same type here. Tomorrow if you are modifying it, okay, Fivetran has inferred, and see here you can't change it because this is a CSV file, right? So here automatically inferring is done by the subtypes here. Okay, so here the super type concept comes whenever you're changing, there is a change in the mismatch of the data types in the columns. Okay, this is for the implicit. This is explicit, this is a implicit. Okay, here the Fivetran will not infer anything. I mean, like, it's not getting into, not interfere here anything, but here the Fivetran will interfere and identify the subtypes. Yes, any other questions, or if you want to ask me anything, please ask. This is very important. So tomorrow, if you are changing certain, if you're modifying certain columns, see this theory part, okay, but how will you verify this? So once the my MySQL server setup, I'll just show you today, okay? Because it takes time. Because the next training is after 3 days. The SQL server connection I'll show you now, okay? So that whatever the hands-on, whatever the theory part we're discussing, okay, in terms of schemas or destination, whatever the data types we're doing, I want you to do it, okay? Change some columns and try to do a sync, try to do the next thing, and you'll be able to identify, okay, whether the data type is changing or not. If it is changing, why it is changing, whether it's going with the super type or subtype, okay, why it is selecting super type, okay, just verify that, okay? But whatever I have said is the same thing, okay? It follows the data hierarchy. Okay, so for the explicit, just remember here the Fivetran will not interfere anything. The only thing it will check is whether the connector has supported data type or not. Okay, in the if it is supported, then it will move as it is. Whatever the data type you have defined in the source, it will move as it is to the destination. But in the implicit, okay, because in the sources like CSVs or in the file where we have not defined the data types, the Fivetran has to interfere that. And because in the Google Sheets, okay, so what have you defined anything here? See, if I here for the implicit, we have already done it, right? One example. So if I go to my Fivetran, okay. So here in the connectors, we have a Google Sheets, right? Google Drive, we have some CSV file uploaded, but in the CSV file, we have not inferred. But if I go to my destination, and what was it here? COVID-19 cases, right? So if I just place this, yeah. So if I try to execute this, so yeah, so here already we have, okay. So here if I try to execute this, so here there is some data type defined it, but in the source we have not defined it. How it got it? Based on the subtype, okay. So this is, this data types is decided by the Fivetran itself, okay. So like, yeah, so the here what the columns you can see, right? Okay, so this is all I see. So here we have what a column with longitude and latitude. Okay, it has identified some data type here, right? So here that's what. So you can just verify everything from the here. Whatever the data it has moved, it's based on what? Based on the Fivetran which has interfered to identify the data types of the CSV file. Okay, so this is what the what implicit and explicit data types, and this is what the data hierarchy internally which follows by the Fivetran. Okay, we'll see, so once the setup is done for SQL Server, I want you people to do it. Okay, so create some table, change the data type, do for small data sets. Okay, so until you understand, because the next training is after 3 days, right? So please do it. Okay, so you can even do it. So here this is not possible because here it's everything is implicit. Fivetran will identify its data types and move the data to the what destination, the supported data types, whatever the destination supporting, it will identify that and it will move it, right? Okay. Yes.
So
Any other questions? Yeah.
Imran, so the subtype is only applicable for implicit case.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Hi Imran, Kaushik here. I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yeah.
So, if you are using implicit type conversions, then the overall runtime of the pipeline would be increased, right? As the conversions needs to be done at the pipeline level itself.
Hmm.
So, does that? I mean, it will affect the performance of the data, right? From end to end, as the lift and shift is happening there.
No, is how it is affecting, right? So because so the objective of super type is to identify without losing the data integrity, right? So it will keep the data, it will not lose any data there. Okay, this will not affect, I guess. Okay, so like how you think, like how it is affecting? If you just tell me, like I can.
So, I mean, we have a few other tools, like if at all, if we can use a transformation using cast type, or even if we use DBT or CoilSSE using the cast, then we can do the same job without affecting the overall performance of the pipeline, wherein the data would be
Yes, that
transferred at a
transformations we
faster
can do
pace,
it.
right?
Yes, we can use DBT. Yes, the transformation is do it. But the here, because this is a data integration tool. Like here, the basic thing to understand here is how the data is pushed from source to destination. If there is this type of files, like how it is basically inferring its data types. Okay, we should know it, right? Yes, that is also whatever you said is possible. Like in Coalesce or DBT, we can modify that. When the data is destination, we can run the pipelines based on schedule. Yes, we can do all those things. But the internally, this is how it basically the Fivetran works. Okay, the main objective here to explain is how the data type is basically identified with the Fivetran and how it is moved to destination. That's it. Okay, but whatever you ask me, we can do it. Yes, we can do it with the DBT and other things also.
Ideally, if at all, if you are architect, then what would you choose? Like one with transformations involved using DBT or something, or would you be considering the implicit conversion in the Fivetran itself from a architect standpoint?
So here, because so whatever the transformations we're gonna do it, okay, in Fighter, if you're using a Fighter tool and transformations we are doing it, so transformation will do it after the data loaded on the destination. Okay, so here because the data once loaded in destination, so we perform a transformation will have its own schema. The main point to say is that the raw data will be in my destination will, on the top of that I'm doing the transformation. Okay, but so here so whatever you told about the data type inferring, So before, see, the transformation, that step is option is available only after loading the data into destination. Okay, so we don't have any other option. See, after loading it, yes, we can do whatever the transformation is possible. But so here we have in the Fivetran we don't have any other option left after moving the data from source to destination. Okay, this is how we infer it. Internet is inferring it, but to change it, okay, so assume like it's affecting the our data pipeline, or there's not specified data which has already selected. If you want to modify it, so that is possible only after loading the data into destination. That's we can do it with the SQL transformation in the Fivetran, or we can go with the DBT or the Coalesce, like whatever it's. So basically we need to test it. Okay, so there is no direct answer that we can go with. So it based on the data we are getting it, and based on that, so we need to just do the research on that, and based on that we can select it. Okay, so I can't select that is the right option, but I can understand, like, yeah, of course it affects the this is for the small data set, but if you have used data set, it varies there. But the transformation is only possible like after the data is loaded destination itself, right? So it completely depends on the use case. Okay, but whenever we are doing replication of the data, so this is how in the replication we don't have any other option in the Fivetran. Okay, so we have to go with whatever the data type it has inferring it. Okay, so we don't have any configuration or properties so that we can change it as per our requirement. We don't have that. Okay, so once the inferring is done by the Fivetran, after loading destination, yes, we have numerous option to change it. Okay, but for the initial replication, so this is what the only option we have in Fivetran.
And one other question. So when it comes to MongoDB, MongoDB has got some
Jason, yes.
few issues on their end. So if we use Fivetran, and if we, though we implicitly convert the data types, that doesn't be like will be not maintaining that data integrity, that data comes from MongoDB, right?
Okay.
So
For
in that
example,
case,
data is
how do you
okay. So in
handle?
the Fivetran, what they convey for the JSON is, so for the JSON data, so it will so in the previous examples I told, right, so it will just take the first level of hierarchy. Okay, so whatever the you may have the JSON data, right, so you may have the internal hierarchy also, but it will take the first hierarchy. Okay, even though if you have a key value, and you internally you also have many files or any list or anything, dictionary or anything, but always it will take the first level of hierarchy. It will take this as a column name. Okay, and these are the values. It will keep as it is. Okay, it will load this way. Okay, so this is one example I'll show you. Okay, it will load this way, and after loading it into the warehouse, then we need to perform the parsing of this particular data internal in Snowflake, or using DBT transformations we can need to do it. Okay, but it provides only the first level breaking. Okay, the first level parsing of the data from the Fivetran. Okay, for the MongoDB which you asked, yes, it's possible, but this is what the condition they have set for the even I've checked. Okay, in the documentation also, even in their hands-on, even when I've done, so it will just do the parsing of this first one, and after this we need to write some queries in the Snowflake to just pass the data in our format, like whatever the requirement is, we can do that. Okay, but internally it will do the first level of this thing. Okay, that's what this is the scenario, right? So if you have JSON data, okay, in the source, but in destination if it is not supporting, so we have what super type. What is the super type? String, right? String, or sorry, JSON or a string. It is a JSON itself, right? So it will move the data. If it is not supported, it will go for the what the next level of hierarchy. Okay, so this is how it basically works. There are many numerous use cases. So what I'll do in the third session, we'll have some cases, okay, identifying this such type of scenarios, the data types. Okay, so let's try to implement both implicit and explicit with the JSON data also. I'll just show you that in the third session. Okay, so that you can have the more clear idea about it, and even if you have, we can make some questions, okay, for the third day, so that if you have any doubts regarding this data types. Okay, but I'll rather than saying that theoretically, I'll just prove that by showing these examples. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay,
In
for the
terms
MongoDB, you
of
got it right. It will break the first level of hierarchy. Okay, it will parse basically the first level. Yes. Any others?
yeah, in terms of actional data type,
Hmm.
if connector is not supporting any data type, then how we are dealing with that?
If the destination is not supported, then you need to what that you need to that you'll get in alert section. Okay, so see whatever here it is, no, like in terms of duplications or in terms of column mismatch, so everything will get this type of alerts. Okay, here you'll get an option for the for example in this case, so if I go to my dashboard, so this type of alerts you'll get it. So here I have to duplicate columns, right? Still I have not explained this here. What it's basically telling you here it is, so it is telling, so I have a two columns. Okay, so the two columns has the same records actually. Okay, same columns names and the same records. So what internally it has done is it has internally combined that columns into a single column. I mean, like in the destination I have only one column, and it has removed that the duplicated column. Okay, so this is where the alert I've got it. So same way, if you do the initial sync now, during that initial sync, if the supported data type is not there, you'll get an alert here. Here you need to get an here you need to handle it. For example, if I go to duplicated here, so I'll get here, this is what the duplicated columns is, and it will explain like what it has done actually. Okay, this is what the duplicated column, this was the schema name, table name. Okay, and this is a duplicated column. Okay, so I got, and there's a destination column name. Okay, so this is what actually got, so it is combined to that. Okay, you can see, so we have vomited the following duplicate column which normalizes to same destination column names. Okay, so this is how it basically done. And if you want to modify it, and yes, if you can, if there is an option to modify it or change it, or it is doing some recommendations, always you'll get all this details to do it in this particular section itself. Okay, so if it is not supported, then yes, you need to handle that. So but I think it covers most of these data types. Okay, so mostly, okay, almost 95% are there, but in here if there is, if not mismatch, then you'll get an option to do the changes for that. Okay. Okay, so you can take see, that's what. So here you ask about the fractional. No, just try to take some data set, similar data set, and try to do it. Okay, try to do racing. You'll get an more options. Okay, how to handle such type of issues. Unless we do it and no, so we'll not get it. Okay, so even okay, I'll take that fraction. If it is not supported, so then we need to handle it. Okay, from my side. Okay, so from our side. Okay. So either we need to select the data which is supported by the destination. You will get that. Okay. So here, like if you are trying to sync which is not supported, it will check this data hierarchy. It will load that data into different data hierarchy format. Okay. If it is not supported, in case if it is not there, it will go for JSON. Is in case assume like JSON is not there in destination, it will go for string. Okay. It will store the data as string. Okay. So here we have what scenarios. I think it's in slide. I'll just show you just a second. So here if I yeah, so this was the example. Yeah, so you can see, so this is one of the example. See what the JSON data is. Okay, if it is not supported, right, so this is what it gets converted into destination. Okay, so first level of hierarchy. Okay, this is one example. I'll just show this as a hands-on. I think I don't have that. Let me check in docs itself. I think it's in documentation.
So do we have option to modify the schema data type?
Yes. Modifying the schema data type, no, so you can hash it, or else you can block it, or you can stop it. This is what the options only we have. Okay, so I'll show you that. So if I go to my dashboard here. Okay, so here in the dashboard, assume this is equal server. Okay, so I'll just go to this connection. So under the schema, so we have like what resync options. Okay, so I can just if I want to stop any one of the columns, right, so I can just uncheck that. Okay, so let me expand this just again. Okay, so this is all I'll explain. Okay, we have soft delete mode, history mode. I'll just explain that later on. We have resyncing options. Okay, these are under the schemas. Okay, but this schema is not for the Google Drive. Okay, it depends. Okay, right now it's not
where
there,
we are
but
having where we can see like column and column data type mapping within source and target. So we can
no, that is
modify
internal.
according to the
That's done by
okay,
internal. That's what the mapping we can't see. Okay, it internally do the mappings.
okay.
That
So that
mapping we can't see.
option we are not having to modify.
No, the internal mappings. See, so here everything is internally built. For example, here I'm not able to select this data. Okay, so here I have one table called employee. even I am doing what initial sync, it's not able to move the data. Why? Because it not satisfied certain conditions. The certain condition here is, so whatever the record I'm doing the initial sync, it has to have what, a primary key. Because this table does not have primary key, I'm not able to, you can see, cannot select the Fivetran teleport sync does not yet to sync this up, because the table must have a primary key to use the teleport. Okay, so here we don't have what, a primary key, so it's not syncing it. Okay, so for the mapping, okay, so if you check in detail, okay, so we don't have any option to see the direct mapping here. Okay, the internal mapping happens by the Fivetran itself. Okay, it will identify the source. In the destination, it will map it as per whatever the column names you have mentioned it. Okay, so based on that, it will do the internal mapping. So mapping also, we don't have an option here. Okay, okay, so unless like we how we do it in Informatica Cloud, right? So we do mapping. If you want to change it, the mapping, okay, so that mapping is not there. Yes, see, that's all is possible only after loading into destination. Okay, after the data is loaded to the destination, if you want to do some transformations or some modifications or anything, you need to create that as a view or some other table referring to that particular table, and you can do that, all those things. Okay, that's all possible only after loading the data in destination. But
Yeah, but if the data type is not supported, then that data will not load in destination.
No, not only that data, it will not load it itself. Okay, it will break the initial sync itself. Okay, if some of the column, if you have any errors during the initial sync, whether the data type is see here, like once I connected, no, I can just refresh it, and before doing the sync also, I can just reload the schema. I can just check all the whatever the requirements I need it. Okay, so here we have different resync options, some delete options. Okay, we have some like history, soft delete. Okay, so whatever the modification, for example, in my destination, I don't want this products column. Okay, I can just uncheck that. Okay, so I want only this to move. Okay, so all this is, I can do it before doing the initial sync. Once the initial sync is done, it will reflect that in the destination also. So only the configuration of the schema is possible only here. Okay, so even if you go to settings, so here we have a different options and the setting, because I've not yet discussed this schema section, no, so still it's lagging. Okay, I'll explain this all things. Okay, like, so here I have a schema sections, whether I want to block columns or block all the schemas configuration table settings, or if I want to allow all the schema tables and columns. Okay, whatever the next thing before the next thing. Okay, it will check this particular schema change settings. Okay, whether it's allowing all the schema changes, or I'm blocking all other sections or not. Okay, it's all, it will do internally. Okay, but whatever the question you asked for the mapping, so it will do internal. Okay, we don't have an option to do the manual mapping here. Okay. Okay, so any other question? See here, the mapping, internal mapping. Okay, but here, see, in the ISES, what happens is, so before loading, you'll create a table in the destination, right? Who was asking question? Yeah, the people who have worked in ICS. Okay, before moving the data into destination, you we'll create a table, right?
Right.
Yeah. So in the Fivetran,
I think
we are not creating.
yes.
Where we are creating
Yeah.
it?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if table already exists in target destination, then how it will deal?
Sorry.
If table already exists in destination, then how will mapping that table?
How map? See, that's what. So once the initial sync is done, so if you are changing or removing some columns in the next thing, it has to identify the internal mapping, right? See, here here in the Python, so you have in the source, whatever you have the tables, right? You'll connect to that, and the destination in the configuration setting, you'll not select anything like select this table, inside this table select this particular schema, or this will not do anything. We'll just give a schema name. We have only option to enter the schema name, and this schema name is reflected in the destination. Okay, in the initial sync, all the data is pushed here. Okay, in here we don't have any mapping here, right? Because directly the data is pushed to the destination. Okay, For the next, okay, for the next sync, if you are doing some changes, assume you are changing the column name, you're adding new record, deleting certain columns. So this, all these modifications which is going to happen in the next sync, it has to be updated, right? It has to be updated. Okay, it has to be updated here. So of course it has to do that mapping, that internal mapping is done by hand. We don't have that option. Okay, so how so this column is attached to this column. Okay, so that is internal mapping is already done. Okay, but if you are making some changes to something, it will reflect it here, and it behaves differently for the different connectors. Okay, so I'll explain this in detail. Okay, in third day it's very important. Okay, where all this concept will like schemas, what logs. Okay, so more advanced topics not yet covered. Okay, I'll explain all this because so adding the row, deleting the row, then adding the new records. Okay, and even what if you have deleting the records from the destination, whether it will affect in the source. You're getting my point? What if like okay, I have done my initial sync. Okay, my initial sync is done. Okay, so tomorrow I'll add some new columns in my destination. I'll add some new columns. Okay, I'll just modify some table name here. Will do the next thing will happen? No. Okay, why no? What are the different errors you'll get it, how to handle it, that I'll explain it. Okay, so these are the different possible scenarios which could happen. But for the mapping, yes, because in the IICs or SSIs, so what you'll do, so doing all these components will drag and drop. Okay, this is what the some expressions you'll add it, right? Some regular some expressions or some transformation you want to do some joins. Okay, you'll drag and drop components, and you'll define what destination configurations. So there you'll select the database table schema, and you'll do all the mapping, right? One-to-one mapping. Okay, whatever the mapping you'll do it, and you'll try to run the run. But here in the Fivetran we don't have such options. Okay, whatever the table name, whatever this table name we have, we select that, we dump in the destination, and after dumping it you can do whatever it is possible using transformation. Okay, so that is possible only after dumping it. But during this process, okay, during the replication, okay, so that doesn't matter. Okay, so here if you want to, in case, okay, so what they suggest is, so they suggest that we don't want to here they suggest in the Python that we should not delete the or modify these tables. Okay, so we need to create other views or tables referring to this particular table, so that we can do the transformation setting, so that always will have a copy of this. If you try to modify it, no, it will not do. There'll be a problem in syncing. They throw some errors, right? So it will not do the syncing in proper, like whatever the schedule we have done, right? So these all things, there are different scenarios it comes. Okay, but you understood about the mapping, right? So here we don't. So after the initial sync, yes, it will do the internal mappings, but we don't have that kind of how we have the mappings in the ISCS for the initial sync. Okay, we don't have that options. Okay, for the initial run. Okay, someone asked for the you got it right.
Imran, even we can't restrict the data while loading the data destination, right? It's like a bulk load, copy of source as it is. For example, my source has a lot of data, large volume of data. I don't want to bring everything. So as part of my requirement, just I need to bring the only small piece of data. So
Can you just
I
sorry
don't need a,
sorry, your voice is too low. Can you just tell it once again? You just increase your volume. Yeah.
yeah, Imran. So my requirement is, my source has a large volume of data. It's like it has 1 million, out of which, I needed only some data as part of my requirement, like it's like 0.5 million. So in this scenario, right, it will extract the whole data from source and it will put it to the destination. So I don't want whole data. So is there any way to restrict the data to pull only whatever the data I need from the source?
See, in the extraction, yeah, see that you need to do it in the source itself. Okay, if you want certain only the sum records. Okay, if you want to just fetch the sum records from the source, you don't want to extract all the data for the one, then either you need to create some other table for that. Okay, just selecting only the few records. But here we don't have that option. Okay, here whenever you're pointing, okay, whenever you're selecting the source, right? So if I go here, okay, so like I'll just show you. Okay, so for the SQL server itself, right? So we are focused on SQL server. So if I go to my dashboard and add a connector here, so I'll select, okay, this destination, some destination. So if I just search for SQL server, okay, you're getting all this dot because we still have not yet discussed this, no? So here, see, the only thing what we are adding here is what destination. We are adding this is what the name it will reflect in the destination once we have run that hostname, port name, user bit, and we select only the database. Okay, so only the database we select. Okay, so once we select the database, okay, so this is just a connection method, and after selecting database, we have the incremental strategies for each and every connector. We have incremental strategies, like here we have like so once the setup is done, so whether I need to read only the new modified deleted record, this is the other stuff. Okay, so whatever the question you ask, okay, we have only one database, and that database, okay, so once you have just done with the database, you'll get a schema like this. Okay, in that database you have two schemas, right? You have two table. Okay, in that schema you have two tables, and in the table you can select the tables. Okay, which table you need to move or which columns you can, but in terms of records you don't have that option. Okay, you don't have option for this selecting the only specific set of records. Okay, either need to create a new table or okay, for selecting those selected records. Okay, so only then you can select it, but this option you have, like selecting the tables, checking or unchecking certain columns, that is possible here, but selecting the specific records is not possible. Got it?
Yes, Imran. Yeah. If that is the case, right? Okay, when you extract the whole data into the destination, when I use that destination in the view to join some other table, then it will decrease the performance, right? So though the data which I don't need, that also they exist in the destination, so it will obviously it will decrease the performance.
Okay, you're talking like, see, you're talking about the records or the columns.
Records.
See,
They
so after
always
inserting,
be
see that you can handle, see that you can handle in the destination part itself, right? That you can handle in
yeah.
Destiny. See, okay, because first you said like, so if you are selecting certain, you have like entire, like assume like 1 million data, and you don't want the entire 1 million data to get it, but to select only the specific records based on certain condition or thing, we don't have that option. Okay, here. So even though you're loading the entire data to destination, and when the data is loaded, so there you can select some of the data and do, like, I don't like why you are selecting certain part of data, that's completely on your use case, right? So yes, so it completely depends. Okay, but for the question which you've asked, so it will see, if you perform that, no, then you'll understand, okay, whether it's decreasing the what performance or not. But that's what, so each and every tool has its own advantages and disadvantages, right? So it's our thing to research and select like which data pipeline is working for our architecture and our use case. But whatever the question we asked, for this we don't have an option for specifyingly selecting the certain records. Okay, so we need to either push entire records to destination, and after pushing it, okay, so we can create a view or table referring to that particular table, right? But the only thing you can identify select here is either tables. Okay, select certain tables, or you can block the what certain columns, that's it. Okay, and apart from that, you can select this some specific set of records here. Okay.
So, Imran, here views are supported or only tables?
Sorry.
Actually, in the source level, views also supported or only tables?
No, we use all supported. Okay, so yeah, so because you're just slightly deviated. Okay, so it is all I'll explain. Okay, when it come to this server. Okay, I'll explain it. Okay. Okay, will not deviate it. Okay, I have just listed as per. I will go that accordingly, so that I'll come to the SQL Server and all this. This still is not yet covered, right? So others should not feel okay. We have just jumped into some different complications. Okay, so right now I was what? Okay, so for the other participants, so where? So here, the only thing till here you should know here, it is like what? Source setup and destination, what is the managed, and data types, how it basically inferring it. Okay, all these practicals I'll show you, and so after completing those things and everything, like how the JSON data works or other data type works, how the inferring happens, adding, deleting schemas, okay, syncing options. Okay, once I complete all those things, I think like that time will clear all your doubts. Or even though after covering all those topics you have doubts, you can ask me. Okay, but as of now, only the data types, if you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay, so with respect to data types, this is how the implicit or explicit works. Okay, so in only the inferring part. Fine. Yes, any other doubts?
Yeah, Imran, Sayantan
Yeah.
here. So I'll just go to a bit backward where you were showing us the that Google Drive file management, right? One was that magic folder, and another one was that merge mode, right? So uh, so in the merge mode, you said that all the files, like suppose we have 10 files in that particular folder, it will merge all the data to a particular table in the destination, right? So in one of the scenario where suppose we are receiving files, 10 files have 10 different structures, right? We're receiving from the same source, but 10 files have 10 different structures. So in that case, how would like Fivetran handle that different
Don't go with
margin?
magic thing, no. We have magic and
I'm saying
merge.
for the merge mode.
Magic folder, right? You're talking about magic, right?
No, merge mode.
Merge. Yeah, merge mode. Then don't select the merge mode. Go with magic mode, right? Because you have 10 different files with different 10 data structures, right?
Okay, so in that case, we have okay. Uh, okay, yeah. So in that case, we will not be able to go via merge mode. We have to.
Merge mode. Yeah, that's
The
what.
only
See, we
option is
see.
to go via
Yeah, two
magic
modes, right?
mode.
So one is merge, and one is the magic, right? Magic.
Mhm.
In the merge criteria is all the files of same data structure. Okay, the one option is done. And tomorrow, if you are doing new sync, it will always go to this folder and find the new file here, and it will append the same table. Okay, how it basically keep on going for the next thing. For the merge, for the magic, because your requirement is you have to different 10 different files of different structures. So in the destination, it will create the 10 different files here, right? So it will create its own tables here. And tomorrow, if you're adding some new file with different data structure, it will reflect that in destination. Okay. Okay, here anyways we have done, no, just try to add. Okay, try to add some more files here and try to do sync. It will reflect it. Okay, it will reflect it. And even try adding some of the existing records in the same file, in the same sheet. I mean, like if you have CSV file, try to add some new data into it and check whether it's reflecting. Okay, so these all things you can do it from your side. Okay, as an kind of assignment or this thing to just to understand, to test this connector. Okay, so this is the question for the magic and man. Okay, cleared, right? You understood, right, this part?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, guys, any other doubts? Please be quick. Yeah, other doubts?
So
Please clarify if it is small doubt also.
Yeah, so when we perform a sync, right, a full sync, suppose today I have performed a like source to destination sync, it is creating a table in the destination and syncing, dumping all the data to the destination. So tomorrow with this, like I have updated the data set, okay, without changing the, modifying any column set. The same column set I am using the last day, but I have modified the data. So will the Fivetran truncate the table and load the whole data, or will it only pick up based on the CDC logic if I check in on that?
Yeah, based on the logic, it will fetch it. It will not do the whole this thing.
This thing. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll discuss the sync itself now. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So here
Thank you.
we have, okay. So the destination is done. So we should know the tabs. Tabs are very important, right? Under the connectors, so under the source, you'll find the schema. Okay, and the sync options, but in the destinations, only the destination connection details you'll find. Okay, if I go to this, so we have users and logging we have not discussed. Okay, so users, overview on the users, only the destination thing, all the details with respect to destination connections or group ID, whatever it is, you will find under destination. But if you go to connectors and if you click any of the connectors, that connector and the sync, whatever the details will be this is what the dashboard you're getting it here, right? So here we have a status bar. Okay, so here basically the next sync will run in 4 hours. So you'll get an like basically an option to when will be the next sync, from where we are getting that. So if I go to my setup, okay, so for this particular source, under the setup we have all the options. Okay, first we'll go with the connection details. In the connection details, what we have: test connection we know, edit connection we know. Okay, we have a Fivetran connector ID. This is the connector ID. Connected by, okay, so this is the user, right? Connected on, what is the schema name? This is same schema name is reflected in my destination, right? Same schema name is reflected in destination, and the folder path. Okay, so because this is what the connection detail of my Google Drive is, and the sync mode have given what, a magic mode. Fine. So now next we have a settings, the sync frequency. Okay, the sync frequency, it starts from a 5 minutes to 24 hours. Okay, I can go with the 5 minute sync strategy, or I can go with the 6 hours. But to select this sync frequency, again, it depends on the use case. Okay, so they suggest that if you don't want to overload your source systems, right? So because the Fivetran APIs will try to connect your source systems, and will try to what get the data like every 5 minutes, right? So it keep on pinging it. So of course it will affect the your source systems, right? So if you want to what do you selecting this 5 minutes, you should be very careful. Okay, that's what I mean to it. So we have 5 minutes. Okay, so then we have 6 hours. 6 is the default one. Okay, so every 6 hours will, if you want to stop sync also, it's possible. So here so yes, it is enabled right now, right? So I can just disable that, okay, for the stop syncing. So here we have sync frequency. So here like so whatever the sync frequency I need it, okay, so based on that I can just select the sync frequency. And this is a delay, so in case like if there is some delay or in fetching the data, or there's some issues with this, okay, so you'll get a notification. I hope like many are getting the notification in your Gmail account, right? So I'll just show you one sample thing. So if I go, you can see, so here I got initial sync is completed, and yeah, so whatever it is, so you'll get the notifications this way, right? So regarding the your connection, your sync details. So here this is what the important factor is: resync. Okay, we have a sync here. Okay, see this okay, these three icons, okay, we have on. Okay, so if I want to disable the notifications, you'll not get a mail. Okay, so for any alerts, you'll not get anything, so you can just disable that. This is sync now. If you want to trigger it by from your end, okay, so now if you want to trigger it, the sync option now itself, okay, if you don't want to wait for the 6 hours, okay, if you want to trigger it now itself, you can do it, okay, anytime. Okay, this is what is sync now, and this is enable or disable this particular pipeline. Okay, pausing will stop the future syncs, right? So right now it is enabled. Okay, this is what the three icons here it is. Okay, so here you can see the last sync when it has happened, and right now it is connected. Okay, so here under the setup we have seen this. Under the settings we have a sync frequency, delay, and we have something like resync all historical data. So resyncing means, so during the initial sync, okay, so once the initial sync is done, if you're adding new records or everything, it will not affect anything, because unless you're changing, it will not reflect anything, right? So if we have initial sync is done, right, we have a source, we have destination, I is done, initial sync is done. If same records is here, it will not change much, okay, because even it is internally it will find if there is no updates, it will not touch anything in the destination, it will keep as it is. Okay, even if you're doing multiple syncs also, even they'll not cost also, cost in terms of pricing, even they'll not charge for this sync. If you're syncing now and again with the same records, they have even though you're not modifying it or editing anything, it's the same record which you have just doing resync, I mean like syncing once again repeatedly, you're doing syncing, even they'll not cost. Okay, pricing model I've not yet discussed, I'll come to that later, but here just remember it, they'll not cost even if you're doing the syncing multiple times. Okay, the condition is you're not modifying or changing anything here. Okay, so here we have an option of resync historical data. So this resyncing means it will overwrite it. Okay, so it's basically kind of doing it from scratch. Okay, resyncing everything so this resyncing we need to select in a situation where there is an errors in the incremental node, you're not able to get the incremental data, or there is some connection issues, or you have lost some data, or you found that like there's some data integrity issues, right, and is not synced properly. Okay, say in such scenarios, right, so we can go with what syncing option. So here, so this is how you'll get it. For example, assume like in my one more account, so if I want to schema logs, yeah, so can you see here, so I have the right icons here, right? So I can see all the details here, so alert I got is I need to reconnect it, and here this is the syncing failed, right? So here so I am getting icons here like blue, purple, red and green. I'll explain this what is this, but you, overall you'll get like data is delayed and whatever it is. Okay, so we'll get all the status here, like for example here the connection is broken, but in our case is connected, right? Either it will be broken or connected. So I was explaining resync, right? So in that situations, so if I want to overwrite it, okay, so it will basically doing it from scratch. Okay, so this is where the resync option will come, and you need to click on the resync all historical data from your source drive connection. Just select that, and this is what it does. What you have selected a full historical resync for this Google Drive connector. So this will take, okay, so it depends. Okay, so even if you try to connect with some sample applications, like for example Shopify is, if you want to test it, okay, so how the performance is. So if you try to connect with Shopify sample data set, and if you want to move the real time data, okay, so even it takes almost a half day or 1 day, okay, to just to do the entire copying. Because even it depends on the records which you're moving it depends from 5 minutes to even a day also, okay, so it completely depends. So here, so what all things it happens in the resync, this is the resync option, okay. Updates of new data will slow or stop, right? Because if you have already a sync strategy, right? So if you are doing a resyncing, and if you have scheduled the sync options for the next 5 hours or 3 hours, of course that will be delayed, right? Because the new data will be no new data will be updated there, and API usage will increase, right? Because you're doing the entire resync, and no existing data will be deleted, okay. So so it will overwrite it basically, right? So this is what the resyncing option will do, and if you are okay with all these options, then you can click on resync connector, and will resync everything, okay. It takes time, so it will start the resyncing. So for example, I'll do resync, let's see, okay. This is manage GCP, right? Okay, I'll click on resyncing connector. So here we'll get an resync option, okay. Hold on. If I go to connectors, uh, syncing setup, destination, okay, it's not starting. Yes, the sync is start, but you'll get an icon here, okay. Let me proceed, okay. So this is what the resync historical. If you want to delete it, okay, so this is a delete option. So if you want to delete this entire connection, you can do it, but the only condition is this can be done only with the full resync. Once the full resync is done, so you may be wondering how it identifies whether the full resync is done or yesterday I told you, right? So they have the some marker inbuilt in it, okay. So what the marker will store, so it will store information, all the metadata information, when what was the last run it has executed, what was the last record has loaded, okay. So even in the Fivetran it has some inbuilt tables. If you observed, okay, yesterday we have loaded this this COVID-19 data, right? So here we have observed that this all like Fivetran synced, this is all automatically added by the Fivetran itself, right? So this Fivetran synced, and even this line, okay. So there are few records, few columns which is automatically added by the Fivetran itself, okay. So based on this, so it will identify what was the last data it was updated in the marker, okay. So we can't see that marker and everything, but this is what the internal working of the Fivetran is, okay. So this is what the deletion is. This everything is done under the setup, okay. So this is the usage, because right now we've already discussed how it basically MRS, okay. Welcome that. Next is schema. So here, see, this schema interface is totally different from the whatever we have seen for the Snowflake, for the SQL Server, right? So for the SQL Server, the schema is this way, right? So you can see the schema is this way, but for the Google Drive, the schema looks like this. So again, it depends on the connector. So so here we just have the source file and the destination table. That's it, okay. We don't have any other option. Even you don't have any settings, unlike for this, okay. So here we have setting options, like what type of schema changes I can make it, right? And here also have some different icons here, okay. It completely depends on the connectors also, okay. So in case, like if you have some specific requirement to select some connector, I encourage you to go to documentation first and see like what are the different strategies options we have in that, okay. And then you can go with that particular connector, okay. So just a quick overview, okay. So this is what the schema is, and the logs, okay. Logs also will come later, okay. So here basically you will get all the information regarding the connection syncing, okay. Many information, like all in detailed information, what are the columns, how many records, the schema names, okay. So what was the inferred data type, okay. You can see, so this is the Google Drive data, right? CSV data. You can see this is what the columns it has inferred. Data string it has inferred as a string, okay. It has it has a combined key as a string, right? So it has inferred this as a integer, okay. So these are the inferred, which data type it has follows implicit, right? Because this was my Google Drive, right? So CSV file. So when it was created, what is the connector type, okay. So all the details, so we have the different tags here, okay. We'll understand in the log section, right? So next is status. Yes, so what so right now it is doing the resync. and this was the historical run is. And we have a sync history graph here. Okay, so sync history graph basically tells like if you want to see what was the sync strategies in the 1 hour, 1 day, and the 1 week. Okay, so that you can change it. And here we have three sections: extract, process, and the load. And this is what the icons here is. Okay, extract, process, and the load here is. So whenever you see green in color, so green in color in the sense like the sync executed successfully without any errors. When you see red in colors, there is some what issue with the I mean, like the sync is you got an error in the sync. Okay, so here that's what. So in this, if I go to my status, so here I have red in color, right? So you can see red in color. When I hover onto this, so I'll get like this failure. Okay, so basically the failure status will get in this. Okay, so here we have like purple. Okay, so for the purple, I have status. Just a second. One second. Yeah, we have this table. Correct. Okay, I think I have added it slide. Okay, so here we have what a green I told you, right? So green is basically completed. Okay, green is completed. We have blue. Blue is incomplete. Okay, you can say it's currently running. Okay, incomplete. Okay, it means that running now. Okay, currently running. Blue currently running. So this sync is finished successfully. Okay, blue, green, and even have red, right? So red, I told you, red is basically failed. Okay, here you need to fix it. Okay, why the sync failed and whatever it is. Okay, so then we have even the gray color. Okay, so gray is even this also failed. Okay, for unknown reasons. Okay, so we need to check. Okay, in the alerts, what was the this also failed. This is the known reasons. Okay, you'll get it. This is for the unknown reasons. Okay, sync is not happened because of that. Okay, then we have purple. Purple is basically rescheduled. Rescheduled. Okay, so rescheduled means, so here in this case, here I have a purple, right? So I disconnected, so my SQL server got disconnected, so I just connected back. Okay, I just reconnected, so it is doing what, rescheduled. So this thing was rescheduled. Okay, this is what the different color icon here is. Okay, so just not important, but yes, you should know like whenever this highlighted green or red, anyways, you can hover onto this and identify like what is basically telling. Like if I click on green, so here you will get like all the details: when was the sync started, when the sync ended, and status, whether it's completed or it is rescheduled or failed or unknown, right? And even you get like what was the extract time. Okay, it extracted in 20 minutes. This was the process time. Okay, then is the loading time and data volume, what was the amount of data it has loaded, right? So all the details you can access from here. Okay, so this is the gray. So gray I told is basically what so here gray in the sense like it just showing the process of this extract, process, and load. Can you see here three icons, right? So you have extract, process, and loads one, but this icon is important. So this on the top bar, if it is green or purple, red or green, it means that either executed completely or it has some errors. But here it depends. Okay, so whether it's purple, green, or blue. Okay, so this is what, and if you hover it, you'll get an idea about it. But yes, just for a quick overview of this is the graph, but you will be getting that everything in a logs also. Okay, you can move that logs into your destination, and even you can do the what analysis on that. Okay, so that's also possible. That is possible in destination side. Okay, if I go to Snowflake and here I have external logging, I can connect to my logging service, right? So I can go with my logging service like AWS CloudWatch or Azure Monitor Log or Data Log or Google Cloud Logging or a Splunk log, right? So I can just select any one of the logging service. I can move the logs directly into this particular third-party services, right? So from here also I can just analyze it. Okay, so these logs you'll be getting for the destination. Okay, because this is the external logging, right? And so whatever the logging with respect to destination, you want to keep a track of that. Okay, so you need to get into logging service, and from the connectors, so here you have a logs. Okay, here you have a logs. Okay, so from here you can identify like what was the this thing. And for the source logs also, you can identify, you can check in the destination. So if you have observed, for each and every sync we have done, okay, there's one table automatically created by the Fivetran, that is a Fivetran audit. Okay, so in the Fivetran audit, if you do select star on Fivetran audit, okay, so if I just place it here, if I do select select star from this audit file. Okay, so here we'll get information regarding what all this sync. Okay, this is the unique ID for the audit table, when the update started, when the update, this update ID, what was the schema table, when it got started, when it is ended, number of updated records or inserts, right? Status, progress. Okay, Fivetran synced. If you're syncing once again, it will again override this particular file audit. Basically, in the Fivetran audit, you will be able to quickly identify the overview of your logs, right? So when it was updated, or whether the status, okay, and how many records it has moved, okay, when was the last sync it has done, right? So everything can you fetch from this Fivetran audit. Okay, we'll learn this logs in detail with the tags, okay, in later on. But this is what the status,
Imran,
okay,
quick
sync
question.
strategies. Yes.
So if at all, if you have to maintain logs at the source and even the Fivetran logs, then can we migrate those logs into CloudDog or Azure Monitor Log?
Yeah, that's what. So here we have, no, so that's what I showed you.
That's on the destination end, right? If we wanted to have
Yes.
end-to-end logs of
Yes, in
everything.
transformations we have. Okay, in the end-to-end log, yes, that is possible. So we have something like Fivetran log connector. Okay, so I think hold on just a second. Yes, Fivetran log connector we can do with Fivetran log connector. Yes. So a second, I think it's it is just a second, let me check. You have, yes, you have an option like Fivetran log connector. Connector zero point distance camera. It should be in the connectors itself. Logs, connector. Yeah. So sorry, this same option. Yes. Oh, sorry. So this is the single. It's not only for the destination. I told like it move the logs. So this is the overall external logging. Yes. This is what the log connector. Okay. So I thought like we have separate option. No. So we have a Fivetran log connector. So this Fivetran log connector will have all the logs. Okay. So all the logs. Okay. So it will move to your logging service.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have any. So here, yes, for the quick logging, we for the source we have here logs. Okay, so here we can filter it, but this option is under the destination. Okay, so this external logging, of course, this will have all the logs. Okay, so I'll show you in the log section. Okay, you can just connect with any of this log thing, and you can check all the logs. Okay, so this is what the logging, Fivetran logging. Okay, Fivetran log. We say that
So
Fivetran log. Yeah. this one.
Do we incur extra costs on if we do an external logging? Then do we incur costs, or is it
Ye- yeah, external logging, yes. If you are using these tools, of course, here you need to pay it. Okay, so from this here you need to pay it, but in the Fivetran they'll not charge. Okay, if you are using external log, you need to pay it. But the for the logs, this logs for the audit logs, okay, for the audit logs we won't pay it. Okay, for example, here if we are getting audit logs, okay, so here we're getting a logs, and here in the Fivetran also we're getting a audit log table. So for that, for in the Fivetran, for all the audit logs or the tables, or sorry, all the columns which we which is default added by the Fivetran, it will not be they'll not charge for that. Okay, only for the external, yes, you need to pay for this. Okay, for the external log.
what I meant is like as Fivetran is based on row level logging. Row level pricing, right? So whatever the rows that you are loading, that would be priced. So
No,
even
no, it's
it
not on row
applies for the
level.
logs as well.
No, no, not on row level. We have something like MAR, okay, that is monthly active rows. Here it's not on number of okay, so I'll explain short, but in next session we'll go with MAR in detail. Okay, so now I'll give a quick overview of MAR. Okay, so what is MAR? Okay, how the pricing is basically, and we'll see some tutorial. Okay, yes, after this you can ask me doubt. Okay, I hope this question will clarify in this section. Okay, so let me clear this. um, so here in the Fivetran, the pricing model is based on okay, here we clear. Okay, so pricing model is based on something called MAR. Okay, M MAR. So it stands for monthly. Okay, monthly active rows. Okay, so monthly active row. Okay, so what is a monthly active row? This is very important. Okay, so Fivetran will not charge for the initial sync or historical sync. Okay, so what does this mean is, so whatever the initial sync you're doing, okay, assume like you have 1 million records. You're moving that 1 million records into destination. Fivetran is not charging. Okay, not charging. So what is a monthly active row? So what is the meaning of active row here is, for this 1 million records after the initial sync, so the pricing is divided into two major factor. One is for the modification, okay, modification, and one is for the sync strategy. Okay, so based on this categories, pricing varies. Okay, so what is modification? For this 1 million records, okay, you have modified, assume a 10% of records. Okay, so you will be charged only for the 10% of records. So basically how MAR calculated is, what is the monthly active row? So the monthly active row means the records which you have updated, modified, or some updates you have done for the particular records, right? So that is what it is called as monthly active row. So it is not on row based. Row based in the sense, like if you move one row to one row here, they'll be charging based on that. If you're moving 1 million rows, they'll be charging 1 million. No, not right. It's based on the monthly active rows. And here, what is the monthly active rows? Is the records which you have modified or added or updated it. Okay, after initial sync. Okay, after performing the initial or historical sync, whatever the records you're updated, modified, or deleted, it is changed, it is charged based on that. Okay, so here I have quickly okay, let me finish this off, okay, in 10 minutes. Okay, so if I have one more slide, MAR, huh. Okay, see here. So here in the MAR, so this is what, so here, okay, so Fivetran consumption based model calculates the usage based on the number of monthly active rows. Okay, so this is across all sources and connectors. And what is the MAR? So monthly active row is a row that has been updated, added, or deleted in the data destination by one of our connectors. Okay, so this operation has to be done, either it has to be updated, modified, or deleted. So those records we call it as a MAR. Okay, so we only recognize a row as active once a month. Okay, not each time it's updated. I'll show for this an example. Okay, so this means that you are not charged for the multiple updates for a row in a single month. Okay, so I'll give one example, you'll understand it. We always give your customers for free historical sync, right? So I told you this historical run is free. For example, assume, okay, so this is a small table we have id and we have a counter, okay. So you are done with the initial sync, and the MAR is like there is no monthly active rows because just what the initial sync is done. In the next, you will update the counter, okay. So you are updating this id 3 to a 4, okay. So now there is a one active row. You getting my point? This is one active row, okay. So now if you are updating the same once again, okay, if you're updating the same C once again, it will not be charged. You're getting my point? This is still a one active row for month. You're getting my point? This is very important for the pricing thing, okay. So you have just updated only once, okay. After updating once for that particular row, if you're updating multiple times also, it will be treated as a one active row only, okay, for that entire month, okay, for that entire 1 month. That's what. So this line is important. So what so we only recognize a row as active once a month, not each time it's updated, okay. It's not based on each time, it's just one active row for that particular a month, okay, once a month, okay. So now C has been updated, so one active row. Even if you're updating the C multiple times or 1,000 times, it doesn't matter, it's still a one active row, okay. What if you update A? Now it is two active row, right? Still one active row. If you're updating A counter to 2, okay, so now it is a two active rows, okay. So whatever the updates, deletes or changes you're going to do it for the table, that is treated as a monthly active rows, okay. So here is one more example. So first, historical sync is free, right? So we don't have any Fivetran will not charge anything, so all the historical sync is done. So next you have change this row and added some new row. What is this new row coming from? Incremental strategies, right? So this is coming from incremental, all right. New row, what is the importance of new row? Okay, so if you are done with the initial sync, tomorrow you have next sync scheduled at 6 p.m. You have some new records. For that new records only will be paying it, okay, new row, okay. So if we have a 3 MAR for that month, or even if you're changing this multiple times, even changing this multiple time doesn't matter, okay. This is updating, okay. Updating will have it up for new records, it will be charged at MAR. But if you have changed some updating certain rows, it will be treated as one active row for that month, okay. So next, so here day 3, you have changed only one row, change the same row, you can see change the same row, zero active, okay, zero MAR, because even though you're updating the same it was treated as only one MAR, okay. Next you have deleted what you have some row, okay. So this new row which you have added, you have deleted that row, that is treated as a 1 MAR. So we have what updated, okay, deleted. So this updated, deleted, and new record. This is for the new record, 1 MAR is added. For the updated, here updated and new, right? Here if you change, if you update the same thing, 0 MAR, but if you're deleting it, okay, it is just 1 MAR. Got it? Any doubts so far? What is MAR and how it's basically charging it? Okay, so the formula here is now, okay. So if you want to see, okay, how it is basically charging it, okay, internally. Yeah, so rows are traced. Assume like you have 10 million rows. What is the meaning of rows are traced? You are doing the initial sync in whatever the records you have from source, you're moving to that destination. And this is what the rows updated for the particular month. 10% you have updated. What is the monthly active rows? 10 million of 10%, that is 10.5 million active rows you have, okay. So into they'll do it, okay. This is what the calculation internally they are doing it, okay. So here we have some of the examples, like when I say rows are traced is the total number of primary keys in the data source, okay. You'll be wondering, okay, how the Fivetran will identify the record with help of primary keys, okay. So if specifically if I talk about SQL Server, it will not even load the data if you don't have primary keys, okay. But in our Google Sheets we don't have primary key, but it internally added a primary key, okay. So it behaves connected to connector, okay. So that's what we need to keep in mind. So here in the update row, so update rate is a percentage of the primary keys. So this is how the MI is calculated, okay. The total rows are traced times updated row, okay. So this is what the total monthly active rows. So here this is what the monthly active rows is, and based on monthly active rows, so here you can see the different pricing models, okay. So if I yeah, so this is just overview of like how the like how many how much we gonna pay, okay. So here we have like early startup, okay. Assume like we have 9 connectors and the total number of rows we have 2.8 million, and the paid MAR is this, okay, and the total cost, okay, $382,000, okay. So then growth, then enterprise, okay, how many total rows and the paid MAR. This is what, just an overview of like how it is basically charging. And the charges here is again depends on if you see the pricing model, it depends on what next slide. Okay, pricing. Okay, pricing have updated in Drive. Even you can just open that in the Drive. I have shared that. Uh, Let me finish that, then we'll wrap it. In the Drive, I have even uploaded this pricing. Okay, so in the pricing, you can just check in detail. Okay, so this is what the free. So free is 5.5 means 5 million rows. Okay, yeah, 0.5 million. Okay, so 0.5 million active rows is free. Okay. Okay, so this is what the free, if you're under the free trial, so this is what the monthly active row you'll be getting under the free trial, and access to standard features and no credit card is required. And this is the starter. Okay, so it comes for the 10 users. Okay, it has analytics ready schemas. Okay, so integrated with the dbt core, right? So if you want to transform the data with help of dbt, right, data build tool, so it comes on the starters. And changing dimensions. Okay, so how it basically what it supports. Okay, so it's all things you can see in starter. Standard same. So here the user varies. Here we have unlimited users. Okay, database connectors, we have 5-minute sync. So even the sync strategy is also important. So you can see, so even though it provides under the free trial 5 minutes 6 minutes sync strategies, but here for the standard start with 15 minutes. If you are opting for the standard, the minimum is start from the 15. You will not get 5 minutes. Okay, so if you're going for the enterprise, then you will go with the 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. And these are the different level of security it offers, like SSH. Okay, we have reverse SSH tunnels so that we connect to our destinations, access to Fivetran APIs. Okay, for the enterprise, yes, we have the 5-minute sync option. We have custom, like I can create multiple accounts, destination, I can create teams and multiple connectors. Okay, and yes, it has its own features for the enterprise. And finally, we have a business critical. Okay, so they have a private link, right? So either you'll get AWS or Azure, so we can deploy the Fivetran in AWS also. Okay, so now even we have that option also. We can access the high volume replication, right? So HVR. So we have a SQL Server HVR. If you have a high volume of data, okay, which has to be deployed on premises, then you can go with the business critical, right? So this is what the pricing device. Right now we are in the free trial. Okay, so here you can see some of the examples in PDF. Okay, so how many monthly active rows and what are the cost you may charge, like here, right? So if you have 2 users and these are the different data connectors you're using it. Okay, and this is the total monthly rows. Fine. So you can just go through this PDF. This drive link is already shared with you. So only this right now you don't you still have not yet covered this. Only the Fivetran pricing and how to connect with the partner connect, right? So this is what we have discussed in the next session. Or make sure like try to create a free AWS free account. Okay, you can just we need just credit card details. Okay, so that we can create a SQL server from there, and we can connect to our destiny from our connectors and see like how it basically behaves for the different data types. And even we need to discuss what some schema names on the logs, right? Transformations important. Okay, so how internal transformations happens. Okay, so how to handle the deduplications also we have, right? So how to handle those things. Okay, we'll discuss all these major aspects about the security and how to create different roles and permissions. Okay, so everything in the third and fourth session. And yes, if you have any quick questions, okay, for the next 3 or 4 minutes, please ask me. Okay, and whatever we have discussed so far, you can ask me any questions with respect to that, because still many topics are left. Okay, so that I'll be covering in the third and fourth day. Okay, and for this is just a request. Okay, if you have AWS free account, please create it, because the SQL Server connection is important, right? Because in our this training we are focused on SQL Server as well as Snowflake. We can't connect the local system, right? The SQL Server, if you have installed, we can't connect that. Okay, so it's lot of headache, like some drivers, we need many things. Just if you have the SQL Server cluster, okay, if you want to connect that with the Fivetran and move the data to destination, so that we'll be doing on the third day, and we'll see the transformations also. Fine. Yes. Any doubts? Yes, you can ask me any doubts if you have. Yes, pricing, anything if you want to ask me in the pricing section. MAR understood, right? It's monthly active rows. It is charged based on, yeah. So here, if you check it in the connectors and the usage, Right now we are not seeing any MAR because it takes 7 days time to update it. Okay, so whatever the connector you're using, usually it takes 7 days to predict. Even if they use some predictive models to just to predict, okay, what could be a charges and how many MARs you may use it. Okay, so this is right now you can see like not yet updated anything because it takes 7 days of time to update this particular this data. Okay, whatever the connector you're using it. Okay, I think here also it's okay, almost it takes 7 days time. Fine. Yes, any questions, or else we'll end it. Just type quick S. Okay, if
Imran,
you haven't.
just
Yeah.
a request actually.
Yeah.
If you could, I mean, on the last day or any day, if you could show us how to connect with being DBT or CoLSSE,
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
it would be great.
Yeah, that transform I'll do it. Yeah. So in the in tech call we discussed that. I'll be showing for the DBT. Okay, DBT I'll be showing it.
Sure.
Okay. Because in the
Thank you.
Fivetran,
Thanks.
coalies will comes under the snowflake part. Okay, so we'll just deviate from the training. So in the Fivetran, we'll have a DBT option and SQL, and we have a transformation for the Fivetran. The two types of transformation we can do it. DBT I'll show it because DBT is where is important. Like in terms of if you want to do transformation, combining the DBT with Fivetran, it's helpful and useful. Okay, in the data pipelines in modern data stack. Okay, so I'll show with the DBT how to connect with the Fivetran, how to run those transformations, because DBT is again a different a tool. Okay, so where we need to understand what actually DBT is, running the DBT commands, how to set up the DBT cloud or what other things. But I'll try to keep it short, and I'll try my best to explain those particular concepts integrating with the Fivetran. Okay, yes, I'll do that. Okay, yeah, noted. Yeah. Next, any other browser sessions? Yes, SQL Server I'll do it in the third day. So make sure you have the AWS account. Okay, so I'll be using AWS because it's very simple, and at least one SQL Server I can show it how to connect it. Okay, and for the high volume API, right? So I'll just show you the setup part and all the documentation, how it basically works, what type of installation you'll do. Even I'll be covering those things. Yes. Any other doubt? Type S if you're good and so far, and type S. Okay, so we'll end it. Unless if you have any question, you can ask me. Yes, at the end, please type S if you are good. Yes, okay, thanks. Fine. At least we got one or two. Okay. Yes, from your side. See, I don't like if you have some in your team. If you have some specific requirements or some use cases, please try to do it from your end. Okay. You have any questions? Just write down those questions. Okay, so that we can discuss in the training. Okay. So after the sessions. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Okay. So I think no questions. If you have any questions, you can just clarify me on Monday. Okay. So I'll clarify all your doubts. And yes, regarding DBT, I've just noted. I'll do that. Okay. 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 Then thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Imran. Thank you.